Hello, a very warm welcome back to the E-Racing GP Endurance Season. First time we've gone for Endurance Season. We're on to round 5 of 6 races. And today, Alex Young, you've selected Silverstone Circuit.
Oh, I mean, we always have to go back to Silverstone. It's one of the great tracks, a bit like Spa. It's still challenging to drive, but you can still overtake it. So we always see great racing here.
Okay, as usual, there's 2 categories available in the endurance race. 1 or 2 teams that we expected to be here, not here, but we've got 50 entrants, which is, again, just a testament to the professionalism that you've put together, Alex, in getting this season up and running. Let's just work through the key teams so far in the season.
So here are the top 10 in the championship. We'll just start with these guys. Laundry House and Stratos Motorsports, they're only 6 points apart. So they're really up there. And then you see Wackles Flip Table Racing, very steady team in 3rd position from Hong Kong. So here are the top 10. And let's have a look at the main drivers in Laundry House. You can see there are 2 teams, 2 cars, shall we say. Car number 90 in the Porsche, in the McLaren, and car 911 in the Porsche. Lovely turquoise-looking car, so they are always very easy to spot.
Just a quick mention on Philippa Bakida. She is top of the overall championship standings. There's a team championship and obviously individual championships as well, so Bakida, well worth looking out for.
And then we have Stratos Motorsports. We only have 1 car today because car 222 and car 333 are actually go-karting. There's go-karting is opening up as more places open up. So that's good to see them racing in real life too. But Naqib Aslan and Mohammad Tasbi, they're 2nd in the championship, only 6 points behind Laundry House. They are under big pressure because they've had 2 poor races and they need to really try and recover to try and challenge for the championship. Now we got some not so new entrants. Pui Pui Racing joined us just in the last round and did a really good job. Finished 3rd. Could have finished even higher if they hadn't had a penalty. And now it's a 2-car team. That was car number 69 that finished 3rd, but now they got car 699, and they're in the McLarens. And you'll love the livery. It looks like a cross between a zebra and a leopard. So they're very distinct to see as well. And then Speed Tavern, one of the new guys as well. Really much a very up-and-coming team. Muhammad Afiq in car 79 finished 2nd in the last race with Kelvinder Singh. For some reason, Kelvinder Singh's not here today. He's been replaced by Sean Vu. Maybe we'll try and talk to Afiq later about the driver swap. Not really sure why that is. And then a new team from Australia, Celsius Autosport, in the only Audi in the field. So he'll be interesting to watch as well.
Really is great to get the variety of nations and of individual cars as well. They are the main ones to look out for. But Team Laundry House, they are top of the championship standings. They've got 2 cars actually in the top 4. Wackos Flip Table Racing as well. Stratos Motorsport just hit car 111. But it's not all about the those big boys. We've got the GT3 races as well. Sorry, the GT3 race as well. And they're going through a qualification period just at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll go through the entry list in a bit more detail later on. But yeah, GT4 guys go out first. These are the smaller cars we see here. Yeah, I mean, these are more for the amateur drivers, I guess, and not as advanced as the GT3 drivers. But look at that. Edward Wong's on a good lap. He's only got a couple more minutes of qualifying left. But this is a faster lap, isn't it, Des?
He's 3rd fastest at the moment. As we look top left of the screen, that's his lap time. Best lap of 2:10.266. 2:09.927 is that run by Bernard Chan. So Bernard Chan's the man in pole position for this particular class. But Edward Wong is looking like he's on a half-decent lap. What's your thoughts? How's he taking this?
He's in the Aston Martin GT4. Yeah, I love this. My favorite livery of the whole field, Racing Line livery. And it's 2 tenths up, lost a tenth out of the last corner just now. So, yeah, he could actually get himself in the front row, actually, because Bernard Chan just did a 9.5. I don't think Edward Wong's going to go that quick, but if he can find a couple more tenths, maybe he can challenge Calix Poon for 2nd position.
Yeah, Calix Poon is currently in P2. We're sticking on, though, with Edward Wong, Team Racing Line.
Oh, he's lost all that time.
Oh
dear, shame. He's not going to improve on P3 now.
So the man who is in pole position is actually in the pits at the moment. Bernard Chan sitting on a time of 2:09.927. Calix Poon also in the pits as well. Out on the circuit. Well, Arthur Wong was on the circuit, but he's out as well. Qualification is just about over. Indeed, it is over, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. GT4 guys are done. So another pole for Bernard Chan, actually. He's in the Academy car number 21. That team is actually leading the championship. They won the last round. Won round 1, didn't have a good round 2 and 3, and won round 4. So they're back in the championship lead. But, yep. Oh,
That's-
Matrillo needs to, no, what's he doing? He's going to get a drive-through penalty. He's out on track with, yeah, he's going to get a drive-through penalty. He's supposed to be off the track with 15 minutes to go because the GT3 boys are coming out now. Let's see what the stewards say. We were quite strict about that. It's Matrillo, shame. Philippines racing team looks like they might have a penalty once the race starts. But let's focus on the GT3 boys. These are the more dramatic, these are the loud guys that make a lot of noise, and we see some thrilling action so far this year.
We're on board with Mohammed Tasby. He's the only Stratos Motorsport driver at the moment. Now, they've had problems in qualification in the past, so Tasby would be well advised to get a banker lap in just to make sure that Stratos aren't left a long way back. I seem to recall one race where they started in P15 or P16, and it was a long way to come from behind, even in an endurance race.
That's so very true. I think it's Nakib Aslan. Remember, he didn't quite, he's so quick, but he didn't get the best of qualifying. So good advice there by Des. Tasby, let's get that banker lap in. But look at that traffic, and this is the beauty about GT4, GT3 racing. We got 50 cars. Well, we got 50 cars on the grid. I think we got 39 GT3 cars. And look at it, it's like a traffic jam out there.
Certainly is. Nowhere for Tasby to go. They have got 15 minutes, so they've got until the top of the hour to qualify. Nobody at the moment has put in a decent lap time in as yet, or a set lap time. Let's just have a look. Well, yeah, all the cars that you've seen there with the red colours, they are the ones who went out earlier on, the GT4s. So that's been set. We're on board still with Tasby. Interesting to see how Tasby goes. He's often the forgotten man of Singapore e-racing, Tasby, isn't he?
Absolutely, but because he's the brother to Muhammad Ali, who is arguably one of the best sim racers in the region, if not maybe even the best. He's doing the Toyota Regionals coming up in a couple of weeks, so he's not taking part today. But his brother, Tasby, sometimes he does these drives, so I'm like, wow, he's every good a bit as his brother. I've seen him in ACC sometimes race fantastically well. Hopefully for Stratos Motorsports, today will be one of those days we see him really, really, really on the top.
Another guy who I often love to see, Andika Rama Maulana, the Indonesian. We don't see enough of him early on in the ERGP. We saw a lot of Andika Rama and the Indonesians, but great to have Andika here.
Yeah.
Hasn't had the best of seasons, Andika. Which team is he?
Yeah, he had a Legion of Races, and I love the new livery that they have on the car. Yeah, he's a real favorite of yours, isn't he? And I love him too. They got these really cool anime graphics on it right now, and when we get Amo Hazik, he'll break it down for us. But yeah, I love the livery. And Maulana, Legion of Races had a poor round 4. Poor for round 4. So they're 5th in the championship right now. I think they're out of... Oh, no, they're still in contention for the championship, to be honest. Because don't forget, round 6 is double points. But yes, Maulana and Legion of Races, they need a good day today.
Well, just with qualification, let's have a look. Let's just go on board with Andika Rama. Let's see how he's doing. So his last lap, oh, well, no, that's a long last lap. What will they do? They'll go out, just get a feel of the circuit, maybe put in a quick lap and then go and try and set a time for qualification?
If this was real life, that would be a good idea. But these are sim drivers. They practice so much. They are really warmed up when they start qualifying. So, yeah, you do want to get a banker lap in, but their banker laps are much more on the edge than in real life. Because real life, you're feeling the conditions and stuff. These sim drivers have already been doing hours of practice. They know what the conditions are. So they'll be right on it straight away.
As for Andy Lawrenson, Andy is one of the two laundry house cars out there in the beautiful Porsche. It sounds good as well. So Andy Lawrenson, they'll be pushing for a place at the top car 911, appropriately enough, in the Porsche. They're 4th in the championship standings. Yep. Been pretty consistent, had a P3 and a P2, a nightmare in round 2 though. That'll be the one that they throw away.
Yep, of course you can drop points from the lowest score in the championship. So they have had a poor round. And Lawrence has actually spun a couple of times while in the lead. So he's very, very quick. But he does make mistakes sometimes. Let's see if we can get a clean race from him today.
Well, here he is, possibly on a lap here. There was a bit of track limits abuse there. Look top left of your screen, it's the red. So the track limits, now it's in red. Will that suggest that his time will be invalid?
Yes, that's right. If it's red at the top left, if that time goes red, that means he's got a track limits and it's not going to count. So he just needs to build and try and get some space. So that's not good. Let's see who's fastest at the moment. No one's done a lap yet. We're still on the first laps. So yeah, this is what you're talking about, Des, by trying to get those banker laps in. I say it's not as important, but it is still important because Lawrenson is under pressure to try and deliver in the next few laps.
We're on board with Nurshaz Lizan, another of those very fast Singaporeans who can often just come in. Car 787, which, if my memory serves me right, is... Which team is this?
You're going to be scrolling through for a while.
I am, aren't I?
787, I can't quite recognize the color scheme, but there's a McLaren coming up behind him. Get the entry list up. This is where we need the spotters guide. I should have printed out the spotters guide.
Indeed, let's actually just quickly pick out. You've prepared a graphic for us just while we've still got a few minutes left in qualification. Can we bring up the guide just so we can pick out the key numbers to look out for?
Okay, we got a bit of time. Let's just quickly do that. So this is the entry list. You can see these are the GT4 drivers, and you can see there are quite a few out there. Car 21, that's the guy on pole. Now, these are the GT3 boys. You can see Sim Racing Philippines got two entries up there. JMX Phantom in car number 10 will be very strong. And then further down, Laundry House, car number 30, he'll be a strong guy. Speed Tavern there, 79. Car number 111, the green car, Stratus Motorsport. Full Pace Racing, 117, 118. They should be factors today as well. Then looking down here, Blue Steel Racing, 401, 402, two different cars. And then Pui Pui Racing there again, so they'll be very strong. Some of the other drivers there, two Laundry House cars. Wackers Flip Table Racing, those are the cars to watch out. 939, 969, and 999. 969 is the guy that's going second in the championship. They will be one to look out for sure.
The fastest time at the moment is Pippa Bakida.
Wow.
Already set a time of 1:56.331, which is 0.6 faster than the next fastest racer. So Bakida got that banker lap in very early. There's still 8 minutes of qualification to go. This one won't count, but very interesting that consistency from Bakida, who's top of the overall individual championship standings as well.
And of course, his car is leading that championship as well too. You know, Bakida, so I think if she snatches pole, this would be her 4th pole. But Rakhmat has gone quickest.
He has. Fadli Rakhmat is out there.
Nice, JMX Phantom car. I'm really impressed with this team and this driver. They've really improved. We saw them in the beginning of the year, kind of there but not there. But the last few months, they've stepped it up a gear, and they are really, really in the fight for pole position in the race win today.
Again, there's a lap out there, so just 300s are behind. So about level on with his fastest lap already. So this is already looking like a good second fast lap for Fadli Rakhmat as he takes the technical part. Sharp left, sharp right. Just got to get the angles absolutely right as they go around Silverstone. We've not mentioned the circuit. We've not done a flying lap yet. We'll rectify that in a moment. But let's see what Fadli does. Midpoint, he is still level with his fastest lap. 1:56, 184.
Went down a gear for that corner there. That's the old. Well, that's the new turn 1. It's not turn 1 here today because we're using the old pits building. And then here we go onto, what's the name of the straight? Brooklyn Straight, I think. Priory. Name's escaping me at the moment. But Rakhmat, even right now with his lap time, he's not going quicker at the moment. But he is on course to match it.
Slams down into 5th gear. 240, 250 kilometers per hour. He comes into this sharp left-hander. 1:56, 184, the target that he's got to beat as he comes into the home straight for the final time. He is slightly quicker, or is he? No, he's 100s down, 200s down. Just lost a little bit and decides to call it a day.
Yeah, he could see he wasn't going to quicker, so he thought, all right, I'm going to get new tires on, get back to the pits, and get out there and drive again.
Wacko's Flippable Racing, you mentioned them. 6 minutes left in the qualification period. Here are Wacko's Flippable Racing with Lee Kin Long. Now he is going quicker than his previous fastest lap.
Yeah, he is, and this car is 3rd in the championship, so it looks like he's going to find a bit of a gain. Still halfway around the track to go.
P9 at the moment. He'll be needing to improve on that, will Lee?
Yeah, as he goes through Stowe. Looks quite clean. Oh, is he still a 10th up? I think he's still a 10th up at this point. And then here we go, braking for Vale. And it goes through Abbey. Well, not Abbey. Abbey's the other corner. Out of this corner there. Let's see. Oh, he's 2 tenths up. 2 tenths up now. So that's looking quite good for Lee. Now this is Abbey. As he goes through Abbey. Doesn't change down. We saw the JMX car change down a gear for this corner. But most of the other cars just keep it in top gear.
Currently in P9.
Oh, he's gone wide. But that's not too bad. Yeah, it's cost him a 10th. It's cost him a 10th. He's pushed. Oh, there he goes. He's bled all that lap time. Oh, such a shame. He was 2.5 tenths up at that point. Oh, he's going to be kicking himself.
Just one mistake can really, really spoil a lap. He is slightly better, but time is running out. Inside 5 minutes for qualification. Round 5 of the ERGP Endurance Championship, and Lee decides enough is enough. He's called that one out. Fadli Rakhmat remains fastest out on the circuit. This particular lap will not count, though. Let's have a look at who else is quick. Russell Reyes, car 311.
Wow, it's in the Bentley. He's done a good lap. 56.9. That's a good lap for him to go P3.
Again, he'll... I love that Bentley.
Yeah.
Sounds beautiful, looks beautiful.
But at the moment, Rakhmat and Bakita, you know, first and second, and they've got a bit of a gap to everyone else.
Skylight just put in a very, very tasty 156.8.
Yeah. We should also have a look at, is Bakita on a better lap?
So Bakita has just started. Now let's...
No, she's on a lap right now. She's a 10th up.
Do you want to talk us through a lap as well? We haven't really done that at Silverstone yet.
Yeah, okay, so here we are coming, which is this corner? This is back to Vale. Okay, they're coming out of this corner onto the new start, start-finish straight, where the Formula 1 boys sit. 10.5 up, you know. If she keeps this up, she might be able to snatch pole from Rakhmat.
The differential is... It's only 2 tenths.
Yeah, and look at that. So, Laundry House, car number 90, looking very good as he comes through these corners. Has to keep it neat, though. These are the corners where you can easily make a mistake and throw it all away. Then comes out onto the Hangar Straight. Sorry, not the Hangar Straight. Wellington Straight. And she's almost 2 tenths up. So, Laundry House might be able to dispose JMX Phantom here. She's only a 10th behind Bakita right now so far. She's got to finish the lap, though. One more real corner to go. Luffield, this right-hander, got to carry a bit of minimum speed. And then carry the speed, get on the power. Good exit, 2.5 tenths up. This might be good enough for pole.
Certainly looking that way as Pippa Bakita comes onto the home straight. 2 tenths up. It is going to be tight, though. Bakita goes across and into pole. That's a 156.0, which is 800ths up on Fadli Rakhmat. So Fadli posted a terrific lap. Bakita says, I'm the race championship leader for a reason.
Well, that's right. She's got one more lap in her. Rakhmat's also got another lap in her. Let's follow Rakhmat for a lap on board, shall we? This going down the start-finish straight. So this is where you can see the cars in the pit buildings right now, coming down to turn 1. Turn 1 is Cop's Corner. Oh, one of my favorite corners in the world, to be honest. It looks so boring, but it isn't. It's really exciting. And I have history there. And then we go to the Beckett's complex, all about carrying speed. Oh, he turns it very early there, but doesn't seem to be a problem. Wow, the car seems glued nicely. This is looking good by Rakhmat in the JMX Phantom car. Gets a good exit out of Chapel, and he's now onto the Hangar Straight. That is good. He's 800ths up right now, so he could be looking to get back to pole position. Now, braking for Stowe. Carry the speed, don't overslow the car here. Nicely done. Uses a lot of curb there. Oh, track limits too wide. I thought he was really patient at the apex, but no, too impatient. Got on the power too early. Track limits, so this lap will not count, and he will not improve.
That means that Bakita, who is in the pits, happy with pole position, but Skylight is out there as well, and Skylight is on a quickish lap. He's 1/10 up. Skylight needs to needs a really quick lap. He needs to be 8/10 up. He's not quite going to get pole position. Don't think he'll be able to improve on P3 either, but nonetheless, for Skylight, this is pretty impressive.
Yeah, I think the McLarens really like this track right now. We got McLaren 1, 2, 3 at the moment. Pui Pui Racing showing their speed. Yeah, even if he will improve in this lap perhaps, but he's not going to touch the front two. The front two are way out in front.
The debutant Reed we saw there from Australia just behind. We'll stick on with Skylight, see if he's able to improve on his time. At least 156.880 was his previous best time, and this is
small improvement.
A 156.7, small improvement. P3 for him. Qualification has just 10 seconds left to run. So Bakida on pole, Fadli Rakhmat second, Skylight third, Russell Reyes in P4 in the Bentley.
We want to see what happens to Andrew Lawrenson, though. Andrew Lawrenson's on a good lap. Let's see, he's 4 tenths up. This is better by the Australian. This is the second Laundry House car, car 911. He's in the middle sector now. This is exactly what he needs. I expected him to be challenging for the front 2 rows. At a minimum, to be honest. So good. Oh, he's lost a 10th out of that corner, though. Yeah, that's okay, though. He's still 3 tenths up. This should move him up a place or 2 if he can keep it clean for the last 2 corners.
Currently in P5. What's the time for Reyes? Reyes was a 1:56.9. 1:56.9 is the target. Let's see what Andy Lawrenson for Team Laundry House can do. They've already got one of their cars on the front row of the grid. And now for Lawrenson, he comes through. Top left of your screen, lap time, a 1:56.8. It moves him up into P4 ahead of Russell Reyes. And Dika Rama is still out on the circuit as well, Alex.
And Dika Rama there, yeah, you see, yeah, he can still finish this lap. They still can finish this lap. Will it move him up though? Yeah, no, he's got to find 2 tenths. He's got to find 2 tenths to try and move up another position. That's not going to happen for him. So
Andika Rama from Legion of Racers.
Be nice to see the timetable, see what the lap times are. There we go.
Bakida a 1:56.091. 900 quicker than Fadli Rakhmat. Skylight 7 tenths down, just ahead of Andy Lawrenson. Russell Reyes another 1 tenth down.
Here we go. We don't have the team names in the games, but look at that. McLaren 1, 2, 3. Pui Racing in 3rd. That's right. Second Laundry House car in 4th. Philippine team, Sim Racing team in 5th. Legion of Racers in 6th. Stratos Motorsports recovered up to 7th. And another second Legion of Racers car in 8th. Waco's Flip Table Racing in 9th. And running up the top 10, Pun. I think that's the second Pui car.
It is the second Pui car. Fabulous. Session has ended.
Yep.
And so we are on for a 4-hour endurance race, the 5th round of the season. We've got a 12 hours still to come at the tail end of November. So we'll keep you posted on that. But certainly, Laundry House remain the team to beat.
Yeah, they do. They're going to be very, very tricky to do. And don't forget, Laundry House are carrying 15 kilos of ballast. So that is quite impressive as well. If we could just put up the timetable again, I just wouldn't mind having a look at that. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see the timetable, see the ballast in the cars. But yes, I think Laundry House has got the 15 kilos of ballast. That's how impressive they have been. But just have a look at the track at the moment. Yeah, there you can see the 15 kilos of ballast for the leader. So to do that with 15 kilos of ballast shows how much they've been practicing and the level that they've reached. We are at the Silverstone track. We talked about it briefly. It's 5.9 kilometers, 18 corners. We're at the old pit building. It's where it's in between Luffield and Copse. Actually, this graphic shows the new pit lane, which is not exactly correct. But yeah, it is a great track. And you've been there before, haven't you?
I've not raced at Silverstone, but I've been there. I've been a spectator, just watching it go past. Beautiful circuit, middle of nowhere, middle of the countryside.
It is middle of the countryside indeed. So we got a minute and a half left before the actual race starts. We can try and go through the grid a bit more. Maybe see the cars on the formation lap. When the cars go on the formation lap, that's when we'll have a look and see how it goes. Maybe just remind you of the top 10 in the championship positions as well.
Laundry House, yeah, leading the way. Car number 90 ahead of Stratos Motorsports, 7th on the grid at the moment. Waco's Flipto Racing Car 969 and Laundry House 911. They are P1 and P4 today. A Legion of Racers, it was Andika Rama there on the 3rd row of the grid. Speed Tavern My are in P6. That's car 49. GSR Esport. Waco's Flippable second car 939. Followed by Speed Tavern, second car 79, and Legion Racers 144. They are the top 10 in the overall championship standings. We're just waiting the countdown. 45 seconds or so. Track conditions. Now, I saw in the notes, Alex, you're trying to keep rain away, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Because we had too much rain the last round. But obviously, I have to say a big thank you to our sponsors. Of course, Edifice Casio for the awesome watches. They've been fantastic. Royal Selangor do our trophies as well. We've got some really pretty trophies. Bit late getting it out to participants because the factories have been closed, but we are trying to get them out as quick as possible. X Park, you know, the X Parks, we have our simulator place there, and they're all over the country. That's the place to go for adventures. Motorsport Playground, the winner, let's not forget, will get a free wrap of the car. Motorsport Playground going to do that, and of course, Life will always make all our lovely T-shirts.
We are 5 seconds away from the start of the formation lap. Nervy times, isn't it? Now somebody's just disappeared from the grid there.
Yeah, why is he? That's the Pui Pui racing car. Why is he in the pit lane?
Yeah, gosh, that is interesting. So it's on the formation lap, so they'll have a chance, I'm assuming, to get back in. But I hope that's not a connectivity issue. Marco Wong, Pui Pui Racing, in the pit lane as we see everybody else disappear. Now that is very frustrating for them. Behind them, Andy Lawrenson quite happy.
Yeah.
Any message? I mean, I know you're on. Anything from the guys?
No, nothing from that. Interesting enough, 16th position, Iman there. It's a Ferrari with a red thing. He shouldn't be on the red thing. We'll have to ignore that. We have to remember that Ferrari is in GT3. For some reason, he's got the wrong color. But yeah, I think. Yeah, I mean, we could look back at the GT4 boys as well when they start. We just remind everyone that there are 2 classes here. So we will occasionally try and go back to them and see how they are doing. We are live on Facebook as well, so guys, don't forget to send in your messages if you want any questions.
Debutant for us, Aussie contender, James Pierre Reid, as we sweep along to try and find him. There he is, in the middle of the pack. Reid qualified in P24, so clearly we'll be having to learn this circuit. But let's see what's happening. Still in the pit is Kyo Lim. Gosh, he's still there. Marco Wong, Pui Pui Racing, that is really, really frustrating for him and for them, because they put in a very, very decent time in qualification. Managed to get on the 2nd row of the grid in P3. This is the championship lead in terms of the teams and the individual, and on pole. The outstanding competitor so far, but there are still plenty of points still to race for. And Fadli Rakhmat literally down the tailpipe of Pipa Bakida.
Yeah. Okay, so the McLarens definitely have a bit of an advantage at Silverstone. The fast-flowing corners, I think, really match it well. But Bakida's not going to get their own way. Laundry House will have to worry about the JMX Phantom car, because Fadli Rakhmat looks very, very quick. And, you know, we saw his lap earlier on, didn't we? His last lap in qualifying would have been good enough for pole, but he had a track limits issue. So, you know, it's early days yet, of course. It's a 4-hour race, a long way to go.
But the first half hour can make or break a race. You can lose a race in the first half hour. You can't win it.
That is true. That is true. So you have to be a bit circumspect, don't you? You don't want to be too crazy in the first hour.
Interested to see how Mohammed Tasbi does. Lee Kin Long in the first of the Wacko's Flippable Racing cars in P8 at the moment. But gosh, still in the pit. Well, Mark Walter Elman's in the pit. Amrul Afiq's in the pit. There's 3 guys stuck in the pit at the moment, I'm afraid.
Well, hopefully they can join the race once the grid starts, goes past them, can do a pit lane start. The Pui Pui Racing team are very impressive. You know, I'd be ashamed if they can't drive. Dear.
Yeah, I can hear it in your voice. We do hope they're able to sort it. So just on the formation lap, the turquoise of Bakida and Lawrenson, 1 and 3 now. Russell Ray's in 4 in the Bentley, in the slate grey Bentley. It's beautiful. I like that. Should get a lap advantage over everyone just for the class of that car and those colours.
You're not biased at all, are you?
Andy Karama in a rather more psychedelic Legion of Racers, P5, car 889. Still Mark Walter Elman is in the pit as he goes down. Kyo Yim is still in the pit. Amrul Afiq still in the pit.
Starting the race now.
Okay, so we are underway, and Bakida gets us going, but that's a good start from Fadli Rakhmat. Bakida just able to hold on the inside. But Fadli Rakhmat made a concerted effort there, Alex Young, to make an early inroad into Pippa Bikida.
And he's the meat in the laundry house sandwich. Lawrenson there with a good start as well. So, yeah, they're going to be fighting each other as well. Then we see the rest of the pack file through.
As we spin through back to Bikida. Fastest in qualification and has accelerated away from Fadli Rakhmat. Reyes and Milana come through in 4 and 5. Tasby in 6, Nigel Trois 7. But Bikida, I thought just for a moment on that first lap that Fadli Rakhmat was going to be able to get the better of it.
Yeah, oh, the Fadli Rakhmat there with the track limits. That's 2 track limits already on the first lap. He has to be careful there. If you have too many track limits, you will get a drive-through. And that's, yeah, that's, you know, that's not smart driving by Rakhmat. It's too early in the race to be pushing like this. I mean, taking track limits, because that drive-through, you know, 4 hours, you really have to start worrying about that for a full 4-hour race.
Bikida leading the way as they come through, confusingly, the old start line.
Yeah.
But what a start from Pippa Bikida. Mohammed Tasby's had a bit of a nightmare. He's dropped down 3 places, Tasby. And he's under pressure from Kinlong Lee. Tell you who's had a really good start is Poon. Poon from Pui Racing. He's got himself up into P6, so at least one Pui World Racing driver is happy enough.
Yeah. Just love saying that, don't you? Pui Racing. Yeah, shame about Tasby. He was up to P6. Must have made a mistake because he's dropped 3 places down to P9.
There is Tasby at the tail end of that little group. Bikida is beginning just to pull away just a little bit. Not so you'd notice, but fine start from Bikida. Consistency. Clearly done an awful lot of work. Knows this circuit like the back of a hand.
And Fadli Rakhmat though, he's struggling a bit with pressure, isn't he, from Lawrenson. Lawrenson in the second laundry house car is right there still.
So a 2-second differential. It's 1.1 seconds already the lead as we just come into the second lap. So that is terrific from Bikida, and Fadli Rakhmat has got to look backwards.
Oh, but he's settled down now. He's got a bit of daylight between him and the third place laundry house car. So, yeah, I think Rakhmat just had a bit of a shaky first lap. He's having a steadier second lap now, and I wouldn't be surprised if he starts going with Bikida.
Let's have a look at some of the others who might cause a problem or two for further down. Simke Worm, who does an awful lot of work behind the scenes in setting this up, racing himself. He's down in P23.
Yeah, has to watch track limits. There's a big fight just ahead of him, actually. I think Oscar Lau. There we go. Paul Faustino there.
Faustino and Oscar Lau, 852 and 190. Paul Faustino, team Garu OEC. As they come through at the end of their second lap, we will occasionally just nip down to see how people are doing.
Yeah, see how the GT4 boys are. Poon is in the lead.
Where is he? There he is. Calix Poon. He's the best of the GT4s, and he's 7/10 ahead of Bernard Chan, who's the man right behind him. Ernest Wong in P3.
Yeah, Kamachi Racing, they won round 3. So they're a really good team as well. You know, from Hong Kong, top team. Oh, and Bernard Chan goes down the inside. Nicely done. Takes back the lead. Oh, and then that's careless. He might get a drive-through for that.
Well, Bernard Chan was just barged off and has taken a scenic route to get back onto the circuit. But Bernard Chan was in P1 very temporarily in that GT4 category. Now drops down to P6.
Yeah, see if Calix Poon is coming under pressure now from the cars in front of him. If you just have a look. Yeah, they're all lining up behind him. Racing line there in second position now. So it's all getting quite busy here. The top 5, they're just right together. But yes, Calix Poon, I wouldn't be surprised. We will try and do in-game penalties in the game and not leave it post-race. So Poon needs to get a hurry on now, because there's a very good chance he might be serving a drive-through later.
Up at the front, very little change. Pippa Bikida, I say very little change, but extended that lead to nearly 1.5 seconds ahead of Fadli Rakhmat. That is a significant lead this early, and very precious few errors. In fact, none as far as we've been able to see.
Well, it's actually closed up the gap a little bit. It was almost 2 seconds, wasn't it? So, and look at that, Lawrenson seems to be going with him as well. So the top 3 just pulling away a bit, and there seems to be a bit of a queue forming behind the Legion of Racers car in P4. There we go. Oh, Russell Reyes looks at it on the inside, decides against it now.
Well, Andika's got ahead of Russell Reyes, hasn't he? From because Reyes was 4th earlier on, and then the first of the PP racers in P6 behind them. Nice, nice livery on that one. So we've got 2 little groups, 1, 2, and 3 all together, 4, 5, and 6 all together. Nigel Troy, the best of the rest, in P7. Lapping somebody there, Bakita, with O'Hara to come into the cockpit in about half an hour's time, or thereabouts. Fadli Rakhmat and Takuma in the McLaren. McLaren's 1 and 2. The first Bentley from Reyes and Gubala. Good performance from them in P3. Andy Lawrence and Terry Rayton. That's a good all Aussie combination. They're currently 4th. It's a 3-man team in the McLaren for PP Racing. Poon, Chan and Tang. They've got to get in, so they've got to work out how they want to do it. Andika Malana and Pratama in the Mercedes, the best of the Mercs, ahead of Nigel Troy and Luis Moreno. That's an interesting combo, isn't it? Lewis, I've always liked Lewis. I always think he's quick. Tasby and Naki Baslan in the fastest of the Ferraris.
We've got Bernard Chan leading GT4 in the Academy cars. But yeah, we should be coming, it's only half an hour into our first stint. In about another half an hour, we shall be seeing pit stops as people change for tires and fuel, and possibly even a driver change.
Temperature 20 degrees, track temperature 27, so beautiful conditions. As Fadli once again is able to just claw back, it was 2.7 seconds, wasn't it? And he's clawed back 7/10 of a second. So clearly, Fadli has got the advantage on the intricates, on the cornering parts, but loses ground on the straight line speed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they got the same car, so the advantage and disadvantage should be very similar, and it's just about the drivers keeping everything nicely together.
Once again, Fadli is being dropped just a little bit. Now then, traffic. This is where Bakita had problems last time, getting through all the traffic in front of her. Let's just have a look and see. Oh, forced very, very wide. It was a Bentley that caused the problem, and that will have been a heart-stopping moment for Pippa Bakita. The 1 negotiated, a second is through.
I have to say, generally, the behavior of the GT4 cars have been very good, to be honest. I remember when we started in round 1, there were a lot of incidents with GT4. Oh, and that's just like say that this GT4 guy totally messes up. They got to stick to the racing line. It's when they try and get off the racing line like that BMW just did, it causes confusion, and that's when the accidents happen. But yeah, the racecraft has improved a lot since when we first started this in round 1 in January.
So Bakita has to go past the Kamachi of Wong. Wong does just get out of the racing line, and Bakita this time seems to have negotiated the traffic. But again, look, top left of your screen, Fadli has reduced the gap from 2.7 seconds to 1.4. So you're quite right. Stalking is an appropriate word.
Yeah, I mean, JMX Phantom car in P2 there just has to chill. You know, just watching Bakita at the moment, still a long way to go.
Bakita leads the JMX Phantom, good colour. Are we calling it bronze or dark gold for the
Rust.
Fadli Rakhmat? Rust.
How about rust?
Rust and black.
Rust and black.
So the blue flags are waving. There is somebody coming very, very quickly as Kalapoon has to move out of the way, as does Takumi Lee. Let's have a look. Where are there some good battles? Andika Rama. That's a good battle with Andika and Poon.
Oh, look at that. Side by side. Good pickup, Des. Malana sweeps back. Oh, back into 5th position. Super aggressive. Oh, and he runs completely wide. Oh, that's a disaster for Malana. No, the other cars are going to get a run. There he goes. He keeps going. He doesn't want to stay on the track. Nigel Troy is going to go by. Tasby in the green Stratos Motorsport car might even get him into the next corner.
Wow, that was a remarkable time. Poon might have got a drive-through, but you're quite right. Nigel Troy, as Andika thought he'd got himself into P5, is suddenly down into P7 because Nigel Troy has taken advantage of him going, well, for a walk around the countryside. Mohammed Tasby has closed right up, and so has Lee Kin Long.
Tasby's going to get a good run out of this. You can see him watching the Stratos car. Can't overtake into the next corner, though. So he has to wait to the really slow. Oh, he messed up there. Just missed the apex. So that's what happens when you follow a car very closely. You can get unsighted sometimes.
We're on board with Lee Kin Long. So he's the back of that trail of 4. So that is 6, 7, 8, and 9 within, what, half a second of each other? Just tracking each other. It's a genuine train. Lee for Waco's Flip-Double Racing as they come down this long straight. Ahead of him, Mohammed Tasbi, Stratos Motorsport. Poon leads the way as Zuhaili gets out of the way. We'll catch up with Zuhaili and how he's been getting on as Lapuz becomes a problem. Poon goes in for a pit stop. Or is this a drive-through? This is a drive-through for Poon.
Oh, I wonder what the drive-through was for.
Well, we saw
Must be track limits. Because there's nothing in the race control. There's no protest against him. What car is he?
Car 699. So that's
must be track limits.
It seems to take forever, doesn't it?
Oh,
for
that's
Poon.
painful. That's got to be painful.
Having been involved with Andika Rama, now comes out, makes his way out, and will rejoin. He went in 6th, will rejoin in 9th, just ahead of Anastas. Yeah, Anastas is coming through. But the good news for Poon is, well, it's not good news, is it? None of it is good news.
Yeah.
The only good news is he remains in the top 8.
Well.
No, he doesn't. He's down 13th, actually. Poon. Hakim,
Awesome.
Law, Afik, Anastas all went past him. So it's harsh. It's hard.
Do you think we have time for a bit quick commercial break?
I think we do, because before we go, let's just give you an update on who is where and who is doing what. Bakida, we are on board with, is the race leader. Leads by a comfortable margin from Fadli Rakhmat. Russell Reyes in the Bentley in P3 from the Philippines. Andy Lawrenson in the second of the Laundry House in P4. Nigel Chua, good move by Nigel. Understated move from Chua in P5. Andika and Pratama in the Merck in 6th. Tasbi, Lee, Law and Afik round out the top 10. Bakida, though, leads as we go for a short commercial break. E-Racing GP Endurance Edition, our thanks to our sponsors. We've just gone through the commercials, but need to mention Royal Selangor, who are handing out the prizes. Casio, who Alex loves to do that with. I haven't got one. X-Parks, of course, and Life. Thank you for your support of E-Racing GP. We started it as a filler. It's turned into a competition in its own right. 50 competitors for this 4-hour endurance race, round 5 of 6 around the Silverstone circuit. And the person leading the way, Alex Young, in a quite stylish manner, Pippa Bakida, a lead, the biggest lead that she's had, nearly 4 seconds.
Wow, so we were talking about it earlier, how she was struggling with traffic, and every time she pulled out a gap, Rakhmat would catch up, but I think it's finally gone the other way, and Rakhmat has been delayed by some traffic, because you're right, almost 4 seconds behind Bakida now in the Laundry House car.
So Pereira is about to be lapped. Second place at the moment belongs to Fadli Rakhmat, as maybe he's run into problems with traffic, but Fadli has been pretty solid as always. I'm a Fadli fan, and you just look at his lap times. Last lap 1:58.9, lapping very consistently inside 1:59.
Yeah, they're lapping some GT3 cars now, and I think that's costing a bit of time. But yeah, this JMX Phantom car is not going away, and he's going to be fighting for the lead later for sure.
And Russell Reyes has got himself into P3, and he's managed to get a quite healthy lead ahead of Andy Lawrenson. Again, a couple of things happened in that 3 minutes that we went to a commercial break. A big lead established by Bakita. Reyes has managed to break away from Lawrenson. So commercial breaks, we've got to time them really carefully.
Yeah, that's right. And then fourth position, just mentioned him, Andrew Lawrenson, in the second Laundry House car. Yeah, he's dropping back. He'll be disappointed with this because he'd have hoped to hold on to Reyes, but that Porsche is lacking a little bit of pace. Then we've got that great battle for fifth position, don't we?
Well, Andika Rama and Nigel Chua. So Andika's managed to claw himself back into P5. Having dropped out, he's overtaken Nigel Chua, got ahead of Tasby. Lee has been dragged along as well. So this is a good comeback by Andika Rama, but Nigel Chua is facing the pressure. The man who's really suffering is Poon, who'd have to drop down to P12. He's got ahead of Ivan Anastas, having served a drive-through penalty car 6.99. And as you can see, is back lapping around about the 2-minute mark. But this battle for P5 is the fascinating one. Milana is just 1 second ahead of Tasby. So Tasby has got the better of Nigel Chua. Oh, I just missed that one, but Mohamed Tasby for Stratos Motorsports moves up into the top 6, again in understated manner. Just in front of him, Andika Milana, just 1 second clear, but that's a good move there from Tasby to get ahead of Nigel Chua, who must have just gone a little bit wide for the Legion of Racers driver, as Lee Kin Long is just behind them as well, a further 2 seconds down. Lee, the man in P9, but Tasby up into the top 6. So, Stratos Motorsports, having just been nice and quiet and circumspect for the first 45 minutes. Tasby has made a good move there on Nigel Chua. And Chua, having at one stage been in 5th place, has lost 2 places to Andika and Mohamed Tasby in the last 3 laps.
Yeah, Chua just joined Legion of Racers recently. And so it's a big step up for him because Legion of Racers is a top team. Chua, we know he's very quick in this game, especially in the Merc. But maybe lacking a bit of experience. I think Milana showing it, just easing away from his teammate. And of course now at Stratos Motorsports top team as well. Mohamed Tasby past Chua as well.
So there is Mohamed Tasby in the lime green. Great to see. Love these graphics. And it's a lovely day in Silverstone, which you can't often say. We have a couple of days in the summer, which normally works around the Grand Prix, but it looked pretty good on the virtual screen, and it's looking very good up at the front for the first time. Bakita has stretched that lead to over 4 seconds.
Wow. 4 seconds again, when he just looked like he was closing up with traffic. And then, you know, what's also interesting, Russell Reyes in 3rd. He's not going away from these 2. You know, over the first few laps, he was in P4, lost a bit of time to the top 2. But, you know, the laps are pretty good. You know, his fastest lap of 58.0 is only 2/10 off the fastest laps of Bakita and Rahman. So, Reyes at the moment, you know, okay, 6 seconds behind Rahman, but that's not a disaster. He's not out of this. Maybe this Filipino team, you know, because this car can short fill as well. You don't need to put a full tank, can do a shorter pit stop, might put him back into a factor with the battle for the lead.
Lapping regularly in the 158s, which is very, very consistent. That's very good. I do like that vehicle. It is. It looks like it belongs on the road. It looks like the tarmac and the car are as one. Mwah!
Yeah, maybe on a road, not a racetrack. I think it's so bulky. I've actually driven one of these cars. It's surprising how good they run. Designed and built at MWorks rally team actually in the UK. But yeah.
How does it handle it? Does it roll? We're just on board with the helmet cam here. You can see it. It almost feels big even on a virtual, that it's difficult to hold on to, but bags of acceleration. You can feel the torque as it pushes down. P3 for Russell Reyes. This is an impressive performance by Russell Reyes, it's got to be said. They are, where are they in the overall champion? VRS Racing, P11 at the moment. They did get a P4 last time out at Paul Ricard. So this is a team that is learning more and more how to handle this vehicle. P3 at the moment for Russell Ray's, but Bakida's lead increases. Ray's splendid isolation on his own. Andy Lawrenson just came into shot there. There is Andy Lawrenson. That's he's just overtaken Christian Duque, another of the Filipino racers, and Javier Lai just a little bit further behind them. But Andy Lawrenson, Terry Rayton, his partner, will be happy if he's got a top 4, but would be like to be a little bit closer than, what is it? It's going to be about 10, 15 seconds behind Bakida if that change is made in the next 10 minutes or so.
Okay, so I just want to talk about Pui Pui Racing right now. You can see the car he's got a drive-through, right? The first Pui Pui Racing car, 699, had that drive-through and went down to P12. So he's still recovering. Pun was looking really good inside the top 5, comfortably inside the top 5, top 4 even. Now his teammate though, Marco Wong, don't forget, he qualified 3rd on the grid. But he had that drive-through, not the drive-through, sorry, he got ejected to the pit lane at the start for some reason, so he had to start from the pits. This car is recovering well. This car finished 3rd at the last round. It's super quick, great driver lineup, and he's gone from the very back and back up to 16th position, so we have to keep an eye out for this car too.
That is a phenomenal spot because we kind of forgotten about him. You're quite right. He qualified 3rd, disappeared, missed the formation lap. So have you got anything from Discord about what happened? Was there a connectivity issue? Or?
He literally just said, I pressed drive, and then why am I in the pit?
Oh.
So I don't know. I mean, must have been a glitch with the game. He's the only one that did it. Maybe he didn't press drive. Maybe he pressed something else. Who knows? But a real disaster. Maybe sometimes, actually, I know what happens. It's happened to me before in a race. If you press drive a fraction too late, because there's a window to press drive, you don't go to the pit, you go back to the pit lane. I'm not saying that's what's happened, but obviously it might be his fault, might not be his fault, but whatever it is, it's unfortunate. He's not out of the race. He's still in the lead lap, and he's up to P16. So, you know, he's got the pace. This team, Pui Pui Racing, has got the pace to still finish top 5 in my view.
Well, you're quite right, because there's still 3 and a bit hours to race. So Marco Wong, we will keep a close eye on Marco Wong, Pui Pui Racing car number 2. It is a terrific comeback. Is that Triple L in front of him? It is Triple L.
Triple L there.
So let's just keep on board with this, and you'll be able to gauge as we look backward just to see how Marco Wong is driving. There is Marco Wong. He's gone past one of the GT4 racers, gets up tight, has a nice line coming through. Now we know Leon Leo Leung is a very capable racer himself. Yeah. So if Wong is able to negotiate past him in this next lap, that will tell us an awful lot about Marco Wong's abilities.
Yeah, so yeah, they just overtook the GT4 race leader at the moment, Bernard Chan in the Academy car. But yeah, so Triple L, his fastest lap's 59.5. And Marco Wong's fastest lap, 58.1. He's on the same pace as the leaders. So I think Wong's going to make short work of the Wacko split table car in front of him.
Well, there they are. There is Wong in the lovely livery. Are we calling that tiger?
I'm calling it a mix between a zebra and a leopard.
Yeah, okay.
A
zephyrd. Well, whatever it is, it's working. Oof. Because the psychedelic Leon Leo Leung is under pressure, and we may as well get on board, I think, because a move is about to be made by Marco Wong. Marco Wong currently in P16, having started in the pit lane at the back of this whole race, and this is a chance to get up into the top 15, which at the very least will be points.
Wow, he was super early on the power out of Beckett's. That McLaren is seriously hooked up, and he's in the slipstream. Oh, is he going to try and do the dummy? No, he's not close enough, he feels. Triple L, though, shouldn't be defending. He wasn't close enough, and that's going to affect his exit out of this corner. Rightly so. So Marco Wong with a great exit out of the corner. Is he going to go down the inside? I would. Oh, he looks at it. But Triple L outbreaks himself anyway, so it might make it easy for Wong now.
Wong this time has got the inside line.
No.
Leon Leo is able to hold on, but this is so close. Surely Marco Wong will make the move imminently. It's a good battle. This is only for P15.
Yeah, P15. He's got to try and make the move here because he doesn't want to be stuck behind him too long. He's close enough down the inside. Yeah, he tries it. Gets a car stop the apex. Good move by Marco Wong. Triple L's not going to fight it. He knows the McLaren is too quick at the moment.
Right, here's a real development. Bakida has clearly gone into the pits. I'm assuming Bakita has gone into the pits because currently P3.
Has she?
Must have.
No.
Must have.
I don't think so. She's lost, what, 10 seconds?
More.
Wow, something's happened off screen. I think that something...
A last lap at 2:12.5.
That's too fast for a pit stop. So she must have had a spin, must have tripped over contact. We're going to have to talk to her when she gets out the car after this stint, because maybe we can get the teammate. Maybe we can get... who's his teammate? I think Terry...
And Andy O'Hara.
Andy O'Hara. I'm not sure Andy O'Hara want to speak to me, to be honest. But it'd be great if we could get Andy O'Hara or Andrew Lawrenson on the phone.
So Lawrenson is in P4 at the moment, so he's in the cockpit. But Bakita was in P1, leading by a long way, over 4 seconds, but is now in P3. Both Fadli Rakhmat in shot here and Russell Reyes in P2 in the Bentley have gone past them. Pippa Bakita, having been faultless, absolutely faultless, now into P3. But closing in on Russell Reyes, that's the good news for her. There is Bakita. We're on the back here of Russell Reyes. He's in P2. Bakita, well, if it was a mistake or it was a spin or was a crash, certainly trying to make amends for it pretty quickly.
Okay, so the McLaren's quicker in a straight line than the Bentley. Bentley's very good around... You wouldn't think the Bentley's good around the corners, but that massive Bentley is very good around the corners, especially the fast corners. But the McLaren's quicker in a straight line, so maybe the McLaren can do it down the straight. Look at that, Bakita there, only with a ping of 87. Excellent to see that the ping of the Australians is working really well today.
So there is the battle for P2. We are on board now with Bakita. Closes up on Russell Reyes, plus there's some back markers. There's some real traffic to negotiate. Reyes has got to have eyes in the front and the back of his head. Bakita, is the space to go around the outside? Well, straight line speed to Bakita, but Reyes looks like he's holding on relatively comfortably there.
Oh, he's got traffic. That's Pierre, the Macanese driver. Oh, Reyes defend the inside, man. I don't know why he's not defending the inside. There you go, that's better. Oh, now he's outbraked himself.
So Reyes in the Bentley and Bakita both go past the traffic. Pereira was an obstacle there, so Bakita. Couple of straights coming. You reckon the straight line speed belongs to Bakita? Reyes.
Oh, look at that. He's trying to put pressure on Reyes there, but Reyes is resisting very well. Reyes is one of those real-life drivers with a lot of experience. But will Bakita got? Yes, he's got to think about. Ooh, there was traffic there. That was close. I thought Bakita was definitely going to send down the inside, but there was traffic there, and that held her up.
And then Reyes goes very wide. Bakita takes a tight line, and Bakita up to P2.
I'm shocked. Why would Russell Reyes let Bakita through? Do they have some sort of understanding? I don't like it when drivers do that. I think it's you're racing for position, man. You should find. I just don't think drivers should ever let other drivers through. That just shows that you're not a race car driver when you do that. For me, okay, I know. Okay, it's different if you're struggling with grip, struggling with something, and you don't want to hold someone out. But you're in equal conditions right now. It's the first stint, and you've just let Bakita through like that. That's not racing.
I can tell you there's a serious frown on Alex Young's forehead at the moment. He's not happy. Russell Reyes has got Bakita, though, maybe in sight because there's traffic coming up. Gosh, that's very difficult, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4 cars ahead of Pippa Bakita, as Russell Reyes has got to negotiate as well. So Aizan is the first one. Paul Faustino is the next one negotiated by. And then Balagulan in the GT4s. We'll find that little battle in a moment. Faustino is quick enough to hold up Russell Reyes here, though. So Faustino in that straight line speed. Bakita on the inside. Reyes then goes past his compatriot. And then Shafiq is the next one to come it. Gosh, it's hard. That's a great view just to see how much hard work it is to get past the back markers.
It is. It's a serious traffic jam. And picking your way through that sort of traffic is definitely an art.
But successfully 4 of 5 negotiated, and just Iman ahead of them. But the race leader is Fadli Rakhmat. Just posted a 2-minute lap. Now then, he's on he's not on his fastest lap. He's 1/10 down, but on his fastest lap. But he leads by 7.8 seconds. from Bakita, who must have made a mistake. I do apologize. I'm in charge of the controlling, but we were watching another part when Bakita fell off the lead. Russell Ray's in P3, Andy Lawrence in 4, Andika Rama 5. That's a big lead for Fadli Rakhmat. He's got a bit of traffic ahead of him. Actually, no, he hasn't. He's just got that one car to negotiate, and he can really just power down. So what are we? We're approaching the hour mark. So we are approaching the situation where the drivers think about changes. We think about pit stops. We think about tactics. 29 laps in. Who haven't we mentioned? Loyat Lam, another of the Wacko's Flippable Racing drivers. This is car number 939, who are 8th in the overall championship standings, regularly in the top 6 or 7 at the end. And again, another competent drive, top 9 position. Anything top 10 in a field this size, Alex, is laudable.
Yeah, and it's in the BMW. The BMW is actually not bad at Silverstone. Lambo is actually a fantastic driver, really, really good driver. But he has a sudden loyalty to the BMW that he always drives it. I don't know why he doesn't try another car. Because the BMW at many of the races this year has just been very, very slow. But yeah, Law's a top driver.
As he goes past Wong, let's actually just go down and see who is leading the GT4 competition. It's not Nabali, man. That is a graphic fault. The driver in car number 28 will just go on there because he should be, that's a GT3 car.
Yep, it is.
So Bernard Chan is the leader by quite a way from Edward Wong in the GT4 competition. But Bernard Chan, as you can see, is about to be lapped again by Fadli Rakhmat, the overall GT3 leader. But we'll just stick on board with Bernard for a while, just to see how the two category number ones come through. Just coming through in the background there was Fadli Rakhmat. But Bernard Chan, his lap times, what's he doing? So best of 2:10, last 2:11, consistency. If you've got a 2-second differential, you want it to be less than that, but it's consistent enough.
Yeah, no, it is good. Let's see how Edward Wong in the Racing Line car is doing in P2. Just see, yeah, oh, he's coming for the pit stops. The pit stops are starting to happen.
Also into the pits is James Pierre Reid in the GT3 competition. Not that that's allowing us to go in. And Mohammed Hamdani.
Yep, and we saw also Russell Reyes is in the pit lane.
Russell Reyes, who was running in P3, he drops into the pits for the first time. Now, will it be a change of driver? Or are you one of those, Alex, who likes longer stints, 2 hours, 2 hours?
Is Russell, who's getting in that car right now? I think if it's a two-car team,
it's a two-car team.
I would rather do 2 hours, 2 hours, because you're in the flow, you know the conditions. Just stick with 2 hours, and off you go. But you know, some of the guys like jumping out and then jumping back in again. So we will soon see.
VRS Racing, it is a long, long hold. He's dropping down to 6th, 7th, 8th as he makes his way out. Is it still Russell Reyes? It is still. No, Lance Kubala. They've made a change of driver as well as during the pit stop. An hour in. So a change of personnel for Russell Reyes, the first of the leaders to go into pit.
Okay, so he's still in the top 10. That's an early pit stop for the Bentley. You are allowed to go to 75 minutes. The maximum stint time is 75 minutes. So be quite interesting. I wouldn't be surprised if Marlana's the next car to come in. The car in 4th position, the Legion of Races cars. Because the Mercs, like I said earlier on, tend to be a bit thirsty and they struggle to go beyond the hour mark. So you just got a feeling that he might be coming in soon.
Andika Marlana currently in P4, racing in P4, but it all gets a little bit confused now because the pit stops have got to happen. How's our friend Marco Wong doing? Marco, who will just briefly break off for Marco Wong. He's got himself up into P12, hasn't had a pit stop, but he had that disastrous start. But P12 for Marco Wong, Pui Racing, closing in on Juan Mohammed Afiq, and his teammate Poon is just ahead of him. So Pui 10 and 12 at the moment. We'll keep an eye on them. Fastest lap, last lap for Poon of 2 minutes, and for Marco Wong, 2 minutes dead once again. So the cars are behaving very, very similarly to each other.
In the Zeppelin-coloured cars. But yes, Marco Wong also showing a bit of damage on the left-hand side. So he's obviously scraped a few cars as he makes his way back up from the tail of the field.
This is our race leader. Look at those lap times. A best lap 157.8, a last lap 158.7. So less than a second differential. Has to work hard.
Yeah, he's not pulled away. There you can see Bakita at the top of the picture there. So he's about this one pit straight behind Rakhmat. So Bakita recovering very well. Her last lap was a 58.7. Well, both their last laps were 58.7. So both these McLarens are still pushing really, really hard.
McLaren seeming to suit the circuit here at Silverstone, virtual Silverstone. I wish it was always this kind of weather at Silverstone. Beautiful. Zubair and Vu and Hakimi standing between Bakita and Fadli Rakhmat. Bakita we just saw come into the back straight. Mohammed Tasbi is the man who's in P3. Poon goes into the pit. So he's in P12. Simke Wern in the pit. Oscar Lau into the pit. Yatlam Law into the pit as well. Fadli Rakhmat into the pit. The race leader decides to go in at 1 minute and 3.5, 1 hour and 3.5 minutes into the race. Big moment.
Okay, so that means they must have short-filled their cars a bit. So both McLarens not able to go to the 75-minute mark. So it looks like their strategy is just to try and do 62, 63 minutes per stint and go to the end. So kind of interesting. I wonder if there's a car or two behind these cars who might go to 75 minutes, who are therefore carrying more fuel. Mohammed Tasbi in the Stratos Motorsport car.
Possible.
So their strategy might be a bit different. If they're filling the car to the maximum and trying to do 75 minutes, okay, so they're carrying fuel for an extra 10 minutes. That's a bit of a disadvantage over a whole stint because you're carrying that extra weight for that whole stint. And 10, let's say 15 kilos, that's going to add up. Maybe half a 10 for lap. But where they'll get it back is on their last pit stop. On their last pit stop, because they've been going longer, they don't have to put that much fuel in. So they can really, really attack that last pit stop. Maybe they don't even have to change tires, because if they don't have to change tires, they can even save 30 seconds on the pit stop.
30 seconds on a pit stop. That is huge. That is huge. At the moment, Mohammed Tasbi is the race leader, but hasn't gone in for a pit stop yet. Fadli Rakhmat has gone in for a pit stop. Pippa Bakita is just coming out from the pit. That's a long pit stop, a hold for Bakita. What does it mean? Bakita's actually dropped into P4. Abdul Hakim, right. Abdul Hakim has stayed out as well. The Mean Machine doesn't get an awful lot of time in the profile, in the spotlight. So let's give Abdul Hakim a big pat on the back. P2 at the moment. Yes, we know there's very mitigating circumstances, but enjoy it, young fella.
Yeah, good to see a lot of young drivers out here, actually. Quite a few there, so that's good. A lot of the old legends, the old regulars as well, but nice to see some young boys.
The Mean Machine. Fabulous name as well for those of us of a certain genre. Nothing to do with car racing.
Oh, that's before my time.
So let's have a look at Abdul Hakim and let's just see the difference between them. So tell you what, his best lap of 158.8, so he's not too far off the mark. So he's in P2 for a reason.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's doing a great job. We've missed him all this time, but yeah, doing a good job. He's in the Aston. Quite a lot of people have chosen the Aston for this weekend. I was quite surprised. Seems to like this track as well. And you can see there in third position, Fadli Rakhmat, who's already done his pit stop, is already coming up to retake him. That's how quick Rakhmat is.
So Rakhmat is 4 seconds down on Hakim, who was 20-odd seconds down. Yep. Well, Abdul Hakim has decided to go into the pit. So there you go. There's your moment for Mean Machine Sim Racing. Enjoy that.
You can say he led the race.
Indeed. Well, not quite, because Mohammed Tasbi did.
Yeah, I forgot.
So Tasbi staying out. Yep. What are we now? Timing-wise, we are... he's got another 7 minutes potentially, which is what, 3, perhaps 4 more laps?
Yep. So let's not forget, this Stratos Motorsports car 111 is second in the championship right now. And with Bakita looking like she might be finishing the top 2, this car needs to find a way to try and get up to challenge for the podium positions.
On dry tyres, everyone's on dry tyres. I saw slicks only have been selected for the cars. Eight. How many wheels? How many tyres they get? 8.
They get 8 sets.
8 sets.
For
Sorry.
the whole weekend. That's practice, qualifying, and the race, which should be enough, unless of course you go spin out a couple times and flat spot the tyres and have to do extra pit stops.
Marco Wong, remarkably, I know he's not had a pit stop, but he's on to P3. He started right at the very, 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 very back. He missed the start of the race, in fact.
Yeah, let's see how far behind he is off the leaders. We go to the look at the timetable and see. Oh, it's got to be good. Ruckmat's 20 seconds. So he's like 20 seconds, 27, 30 seconds off the lead.
Is that catchable in 3 hours?
Well, yeah, 30 seconds, 3 hours, that's always possible. But he can't drive like that. Missing the apex, sliding, that's going to take him a lot of lap time.
Maybe he's enjoyed being out of the centre of your gaze and critique.
Yeah.
and that's where he's made mistakes, because he hasn't made that many mistakes so far, because he's got himself up ahead of Lance Kubala.
Yeah, he's 32 seconds behind the lead. That's catchable in 3 hours. But obviously his teammates have to do the job as well. Tasby's in.
So he didn't quite go the full 1 hour and 15. I'm always interested to see whether or not they make the driver change. I would imagine, not having experienced it, but if you're in the groove, if you're used to it, you'd want to carry on.
Yeah, so Tasby's a good driver. For him to do 2 stints would be very easy. So I'd be very surprised if he gets out of the car at this point. Probably stay in the car, and then I think Naqib will do the last 2 stints of the race.
Well, we'll find out in just a moment, because he is out, and Mohammed Tasby, bottom right, has stayed in for a second straight stint. Has he been able to retain the race lead? The answer is no. Fadli Rakhmat has gone past him. Who else has gone past him? Well, there's Fadli. Mohammed Tasby is out. Marco Wong has stayed out there. Marco Wong, has he gone past him? I think he has. Tasby comes out in P3 out of the pits. 4, because Gubala and Bakida have both gone past him.
And that become, but is he in front? The question mark is he in front of the cars he was battling before? Is he in front of Maulana? Is he in front?
He's in front of Maulana. He's in front of Terry Rayton.
No, Terry Rayton's in front of him. See, there they are. There's Terry Rayton. You can see the green Stratos car behind, and Maulana is just behind the green Stratos car. So the Legion, Tasby's done a great job to leapfrog. Oh no, he hasn't leapfrog. Sorry, excuse me. There's Maulana.
No, yeah, there's Maulana ahead of him.
Okay.
It's Nigel Chua just behind.
So Maulana's done a great job in the pit stops to get in front of all these cars.
So Andika Rama Maulana in P5. Triple L, Leon Leo Leung. Don't think he's made a pit stop so far.
No, definitely not.
He's got himself up into P5.
Must be pitting this lap.
But Fadli Rakhmat is the Fadli's been in, hasn't he? He's made his, has he? Yeah, Fadli's been in.
Yeah, Fadli's been in. Let's go back to Triple L, because he's about to. Let's just see if he's going to. Yeah, he's got enough time. But I would think he'd be pitting this lap or the next. Okay.
Fadli Rakhmat has the lead. It's quite a comfortable one. Marco Wong goes into the pits. So he's lasted as long as he possibly can. 1 hour and 10 minutes, 1 hour 11 minutes for Marco Wong. He maybe could have done one more lap for PP Racing, but that's good for him. Lance Kubala in the Bentley, the beautiful, gorgeous Bentley, in for VRS Racing. Last lap, 1:59.1. He's quickly into the groove, Kubala.
Yeah. So there's something interesting going on, because Bakida's lost a lot of time. Bakida was ahead of the Bentley. Now, why is she behind the Bentley?
So this is twice now that Bakida has mysteriously dropped back. We've kind of assumed that she was just sailing happily clear. Is there any damage? Doesn't look to be damage.
Very peculiar. So this is the battle for second position. But Gubala's also 20 seconds behind Fadli Rakhmat. So how has Rakhmat got a 20-second lead in front of these guys?
Well, Bakida makes the move, tries to retain P2 once again. That's the second time we've seen Bakida overtake the Bentley and move into P2. But for the second time, clearly a mistake has been made off the camera, off the gaze of the camera. So I ought to keep a closer eye on Pippa Bikida. Fadli Rakhmat's lead, as you say, best part of 20 seconds over Pippa Bikida. Well, JMX Racing, JMX Phantom, terrific for them. They have got, where were they in the standings? They hadn't made they were top 15. They've had a P5 at Nürburgring, but hadn't really bothered the scorers. Other than that, it's looking promising at the moment. Right, let's have a look at some of the driver changes that we've had. First time, Sky Lai, he's come into Puipi Racing, so a change of personnel. Is this the Marco Wong car? I think it's the Marco Wong car. So Sky Lai into the Marco Wong car, P60, car number 69.
Okay, let's try and show some of these drivers driving. We're interested to see Mohamed Tasbi, see how he's doing as well.
So we're on board with Tasbi. That's the virtual look of Tasbi. And that's the real look of Tasbi. And that's the view of Tasbi.
Lots of Tasbis. Does he have to P5?
P6. Triple L, he will move up into P5 because Triple L is there. So yeah, Mohamed Tasbi will move up to P5. Triple L in the pits behind Andika Rama. What's the differential between Tasbi, who's bottom right of your screen?
Look, Terry Rayton is behind.
Yeah.
Just if you can click on Terry Rayton, it'd be quite interesting to see, because let's see what his ping is, because he just looked like he was moving around a bit. So Terry Rayton's taken over from Andrew Lawrenson.
And Pereira has just gone past Terry Rayton.
Yeah, well, I think he's unlapping himself. So Rayton's ping looks okay, but I saw the car teleport around just now, so maybe some packets are getting lost. So very strange. Both Laundry House cars struggling with unknown incidents, and they've dropped back a bit. Let's watch his. Let's see him on board. He doesn't look happy, does he? Look, he has a very unique driving style. He looks very close to the steering wheel. But he's talking a lot on the radio. Maybe he's talking to Andrew Lawrenson, his teammate. He's not happy about something, isn't he? He's chatting away there.
And working extra hard there as well, isn't he?
You just go to the broadcasting.
P7 at the moment. He's got Lee right up his backside. There is Lee, tries to go on the inside. That is the battle for P7. We're on board with Terry Rayton. Team Laundry House, car 911 in the Porsche, finding a leak in long. As some real unwelcome company. That's how close Lee is. Now Lee might make a move this time. Lee has got the slipstream, and Lee Kinlong goes past Terry Rayton, and Rayton, a frown on his brow. Oof. Although Lee then went very, very wide, but nonetheless Lee holds on to P7, and Terry Rayton for Laundry House drops down to P8, so it's not been a good changeover.
No, I mean, Rayton's a very quick driver, but he's obviously not happy with something because he's struggling for pace at the moment.
Andy Lawrenson was the first driver in that particular group. Okay, let's look at the GT4, shall we, where Bernard Chan is a very respectable P28. Oh, Hakimi.
Nope, that's a GT3 car.
That's a GT3. That's the old one, isn't it? Okay. So Bernard Chan is leading ahead of Nazir Azman. So Chan has stayed out for a second stint. Nazir Azman is the second of the GT4s.
Okay, let's stay on board with him right now. There he is, driving. He's got the fan going. Lovely. I don't know what he's wearing on his head there. But he looks pretty happy there in second position.
Just has to beware as Andika Ramamalana goes past him. Andika in P4, if my memory serves me correctly. Yeah, Naz looking a pretty cool dude, bottom right of your screen. He's currently second in the GT4 race for the Team Racing Line, and Team Racing Line in the GT4 competition are fourth in the overall championship standings. They've had a second a 5th and a 6th position. 2nd, 4th and 6th position in their 4 races so far.
It's quite interesting. What happened to the Komachi cars? They've disappeared. Komachi racing cars were very quick at one point.
So Matrio is 3. Calix Poon.
Ah, there he is. Calix Poon had that drive-through, didn't he, for knocking off Bernard Chan earlier on.
And he's under pressure, I think, from, well, Arthur Wong, who pushes out. You've mentioned about the traffic and the problems traffic can bring.
Yeah, there is traffic. Oh, some careless happenings there. Rachmat obviously getting the drive-through, just hit one of the back markers quite badly. But saw another incident as well. One another back markers, car 22, took out Tasby. Very, very bad. He went off at the maggots, and I don't know what he's thinking, because he rejoined the track in a very unsafe way.
We're catching up with Tasby there.
Yeah, and I'm sure Tasby's got some damage as well. So he was running in 5th, now down in P7.
Oh, so many changes, and so much can go wrong so very, very quickly. Marco Wong, car 12, were they? What's happened to them? Oh, car 69 it was, Sky Lai, wasn't it? So Sky Lai is doing okay. So PP Racing is got into the top 10. And the other is, so Xiang, PP Racing, the other car. So this is the car that had problems at the very start, Alex. Into the top 10.
Wow. That is impressive, isn't it? I mean, great job by these guys. Let's see, I wonder how far off the lead they are. There must be about 40 seconds off the lead, which is pretty much maintaining where they were after starting from the pit lane.
But that Fadli Rachmat drive-through penalty, when would you serve it?
Well, he's got to serve it soon.
He's got a time limit, X laps?
Yeah, there is.
Oh, that will hurt. That will really hurt, because you look at the top of the screen and that's Pippa Bakida, who is closing inexorably in. Even without the drive-through penalty, Bakida has closed the gap that was at one stage 8.5 seconds. It's now 5.5 seconds. And Bakida is racing away from Lancer Gubala in P3. So Bakida, remember, had a healthy lead, lost the healthy lead, may well soon be going back into a healthy lead.
Yeah. And there's still a long way to go, so you must also watch out for track limits, because you get drive-throughs for that as well.
Fadli, he stayed out. Or is this that's the old start lane, isn't it? Yeah. How frustrating for JMX Phantom.
Yeah, they were looking really good, you know. Yes, they were leading, but it looked like they had the pace to stay out in front as well. This drive-through is going to drop them really far back. We estimate about 20 seconds, I reckon. So drop it back to P3 for sure. Maybe even P4.
Andika Malan is the man currently in P4. I'll revisit Fadli in a moment, but at the moment, this is his Indonesian counterpart who's trying to close in on Lance Gubala for P3. Legion of Racers as Fadli comes around towards the tail end of the lap and goes in for his drive-through. Right, let's see the damage that this causes to Fadli Rachmat. Currently race leader, but slows down. Oh, I can feel it.
Wow, the speed limit is 50 kilometers per hour, I think. That takes forever. I actually thought the speed limit was 80, but 50, that's going to be so painful.
A drive-through, Bakida has gone past.
There's our new race leader. Gubala should be going by as well.
Fadli still in the pits. Where is Gubala? Gubala's gone past. We saw just a little glimpse of Fadli Rachmat comes out in P3 behind Gubala. So it's Bakida leading for Laundry House, followed by Lance Gubala in shot there. Fadli Rachmat in P3. We're just there behind him as
Molana.
Yeah, Andika Rama Molana will come through surely in P4.
There he is at the top of the screen.
Yeah, there's Andika just going past Gutierrez, lapping Gutierrez. So damaging but not fatal for Fadli Rachmat, but it hurts. It hurts.
Yeah, it definitely hurts. Still, I mean, Bakita could get a drive-through for something. We've also seen the Laundry House guys struggle. Like we said, we don't know why we lost them earlier on. Actually, you know, shall we talk to someone? Actually, I'm on the wrong channel right now, but let me see if I can.
Well, Terry Rayton is still going backwards. He's down to P19 now. P19.
Yeah, let's see if we can talk to Andrew.
Hey guys, how we doing?
How you doing, Andrew? You want to talk us a bit of up and down happening with both your cars today? Hi, Andrew. Just a bit of up and down both your cars today.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's gone on with Philippa's end. I've got the explanation for ours, and the pit crew will be fired summarily after the race for not changing the tyres at the stock. So we sent Terry out on a very worn set of boots.
Wow.
Oh, wow. So you mean he's still on those worn set of boots?
He was for about 4 laps until we figured out what had gone wrong. He was acutely aware of the problem just after it happened, but we ran it through the math and the simulation against what would be best to do, and it very quickly said it'd be about 45 seconds quicker to come in for an extra stop to grab the tyres early on and then finish the stint as opposed to trying to push on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So we're just going to drive around, have a bit of fun at the back with the traffic.
Well, we've seen you do this before, rounds 1 and 2, I think, especially. You went backwards, but you still managed to recover in the top 10. Who knows, maybe top 8 even.
At least we're experienced with it. I was saying to Terry before the race, I'd like a boring race where we just sort of cruise around in the top 3 or 4 and then come across the line. But circumstances not delivered that for us. But the car's good for what it's worth. We couldn't keep with the English stuff. Anything that was made in Britain seems to be pretty quick here, the Bentleys and the McLarens. But we also didn't have much luck with the traffic, whereas the Bentley in front had all the Lewis Hamilton luck you could possibly ask for. We're finding the traffic on the straights. We got them in Maggots, Beckett's, Cops, Club, everywhere you don't want to hit traffic.
Okay. Well, good news is Rayton's just overtaking Clapano for a position. P18 now, so yeah, only 10 more positions to go?
Yeah, that'll be right. We can do that. At least it's fun. We're here to entertain. We'll put on a show.
Okay. And maybe you can find out from Bakita what happened to their car, because they looked comfortable later on. And so you can find out.
I'll jump over and have a chat to them. I'll come back to you.
Cool. Thanks very much. Thanks for talking to us.
No worries. See you guys.
See ya.
Pewter is about possibilities. It is an idea made real. Crafted with precision. It can make tradition timeless. Pewter evolves. When allowed to be free, it can captivate you. Pewter is our legacy, and we're keeping the legacy alive. Royal Selangor, since 1885.
A very warm welcome back to our coverage of the ERGP Endurance Edition. Let's just give you a quick update on how the standings are looking as we approach the halfway point of the race. It's a 4-hour race. We have got 2:18 still to go. Pippa Bakida is leading the way. Andy O'Hara still to get a drive in car number 90. It's been an up and down performance from Bakida. A healthy lead was lost and then regained as Fadli Rakhmat served a drive-through penalty. Fadli Rakhmat and the McLarens both performing really well for JMX Phantom Racing. Lance Kubala and Russell Reyes in the Bentley Continental, that wondrous machine, they are in P3. And Dika Milano will be replaced by Pratama there in P4. This is a really good performance by Nigel Chua. We've not really spent any time with Nigel. We'll rectify that in just a moment. And then the Mercedes of Waco's Fliptical Racing, Lee and John Wong, who's yet to get in the car, they are in P6. Tasby and Aslan second in the championship for Stratos Motorsport in P7. That just brings you up to date. Alex Young, I mentioned Nigel Chua there. He's one of those unspectacular guys who just keeps piling on the points. Here he is in P11, about to overtake Wei Xiong. He's very understated, Nigel Chua.
Yeah, I mean, he's very, very consistent, very, very steady. He doesn't make mistakes. Oh, Wei Xiong goes right off track there. Very, very steady. Probably the most inexperienced driver in Southeast Asia and ACC. He plays this game a lot. But, yeah, I still think he needs to find a little bit of something. He needs to find a little bit more if he wants to be able to try and get that car to a complete front-winning pace.
What is he? Do you know? I mean, his experience, but is he a kid or is he young, under 20s?
I think he's in his late 20s.
Okay.
Very nice driver from Penang.
Okay. Always good from Penang. Pippa Bakida is the person who is leading this, though. Laundry House Insurance. That lead is going up and up and up. 26 seconds. That's almost a pit stop in itself. But we have seen with a long time to go that things can change very quickly. We're now on lap 51. Let's go and visit maybe the guys who are at the GT4. Bernard Champ from the Academy is still leading that race quite comfortably from Nazir Azman in P2. So P27 for Bernard Champ. And he's the championship leader in that category. 2 categories racing in this, but the Academy racer, having dropped to P6 in this category very early on in the first hour, has got himself up into P1 ahead of Nazir Azman from Team Racing Line. And Azman is under pressure there from Francis Matrio. So let's just have a look at this one and see if Matrio can make a move there on Nazir Azman. They've got to deal with the GT3 cars speeding past them, as Mohammed Tasbi does exactly that. But here's a move by Matrio, just trying to get on the inside. Matrio, oh, good battle, and it involves one of the other cars behind. Matrio is then forced wide. Azman is able to hold on, but as they race, they have to be aware of what's going on around them.
Wow, so Matrillo up to second position. It almost took out the Pui car.
Yes.
The Zebra car.
That's
the Zepard.
Zepard. So, Francis Matrio, VRS Racing. Now, we've seen Francis races an awful lot on ERGP. Great to see him still competing, but Nazir Azman not too thrilled about his presence. And Kalix Poon for the Komachi Racing. Now, Komachi have been up at the top in previous weeks. I wonder, Scott, what's going on with Komachi Racing this week?
Well, don't forget, Kalix Poon had that drive-through, didn't he? He was leading the race, but he got a drive-through for tapping Bernard Chan into that spin. I think on lap 2 it was. So he's still trying to recover from that drive-through. Good pace. It was a shame because I think he and Bernard Chan would have had a great battle.
Arthur Wong is his teammate or stablemate, different car as well. Arthur, the BMWs, I was going to say it's the BMWs who are having a problem, but Matrio doesn't seem to be having a problem as he's just overtaken Nazir Azman. And further down, I'm seeing some correspondence that Hisham Jahudi, car number 22, is causing a problem or two. So the Academy racer is getting a bit of a telling off from race control. As there he is once again. There's a collision there, and Jahudi is not a popular man at the moment.
Yeah, he's got another drive-through, I think, coming his way. He's had 2 collisions already. So we'll have to watch that because the stewards might let him get away with 2. But if he keeps on doing that, they're going to DQ that car very soon.
Which would be a shame because it is a team and you don't want to be thrown out without your teammates having at least had a go in the cockpit. So Hisham Jahoudi, best behaviour from now on, please.
Yeah.
Mervyn Singh and Adam Shafiq are in the pit. James Pierre Reid on debut. He never made it out the pit, so disappointing debut for the Australian. Back up to the GT3s. Look at Bakida, 157, 158, 158, 158.
Yeah.
Really impressive.
Very, very impressive. And he's coming up to lap his their teammates, Terry Rayton. So, wow, that is a good job. If you're lapping all the way up to 14th position.
Terry won't be too chuffed.
No, he won't be. Shame about that car, though, having to come in for that extra pit stop.
So Terry Rayton in P14 in the Porsche 911. Behind them, you've got Amo Hazik. And behind them, so Hazik goes through. And then Pippa Bakida, who is coming up to lap. Is this the first time or is this the second time?
Lapping the first time, I think.
It is. For Amo Hazik it is. And Terry Rayton it will be as well. But Bakida won't want to be held up in fast traffic. You can go past the GT4s, but the GT3s, they can cause a problem because of their pace.
Exactly. It takes them quite a while. And you have to be more careful when you go past them as well. Got to make it very clear. But the guys who are getting lapped, they generally stay out of the way. Look at that. And that, just talking about that, Amo just gets right out of the way. Good driving by the Malaysian to let the leader through. And he'll just tuck in and see if he can follow Bakida for a few laps. Okay, so Rahman in second in this JMX Phantom car. But we should also be having a look at the fight for third, really, because that's heating up.
So Lance Gubala has got a lead, but Andika Rama is there. There they are, the two of them together coming in.
Yeah, look at that. I mean, they're a lot closer. Milana's just closed down that gap. I wonder if the battle for third position, whether Maulana might pit earlier, because the undercut worked for him really well in that first set of pit stops. So if he pits early again, and I think he will, because Gubala will pit late. We saw him pit late earlier on. Scrap that. Gubala's coming in now.
Great predictions of our time, Chapter 4.
Yeah. I think Gubala saw the traffic ahead of him and decided, right, I'm going to pit now. So let's go back to Maulana. Let's see, because Maulana needs to push now. See if he can get a bit of a gap.
Well, he's got clear track ahead of him, so he can accelerate down. So he's on the start of a lap where we'll be able to go through him. So he's 3/10 down on his fastest lap, was a 58.5. So if he hits a 59, that would be useful for him on lap 59. And we are on board here with Andika Rama Maulana, the Indonesian. Car 889, he's flying down. P3 at the moment. He's 9 seconds down on Fadli Rahmat, who's over 30 seconds down on Philippa Bakina. But the Legion of Racers racer has now got some traffic.
Yeah, he does.
This could be a slight problem for him.
Yeah, because he's trying to do the overcut. It'll be interesting to see what this lap is like. Oh, that traffic's going to cost him time. If he can clear both these GT4 cars for the next corner, that would be very good. Yeah, see, he's 8/10 down on this lap already. Oh, too much GT4 traffic. I think that might have been a good call by Gubala to pit before the traffic. But, yeah, you see, all this GT4 stuff is really slowing Maulana down.
Particularly when you come around the intricate parts, because even if they get out of the way on time, you've got to go off your racing line, haven't you? And maybe just slightly compromise your exit from a corner. But now he's got nothing ahead of him.
Well, maybe we can go back to Gubala and see what...
well, Russell Reyes is back in, so they've made their second swap.
Okay.
Whether they're going 1-1-1-1.
As Reyes goes past the GT4 leader. So he's got some traffic as well.
But it's quick traffic. Elman's quick and Villanova's quick, but Reyes just swoops past them. He'll enjoy that. Farewell, my fellow Filipinos, he says. See you in the back mirror.
There's got another Filipino in front of him as well. Oh, they're all, it's like Moses. They're parting the sea for him.
Russell Reyes doing a good job. He's got Sang. So he's about to overtake Sang. Wow, it's about to lap Sang. That is impressive because Sang is in P8 at the moment. Let's have a look back from Sang. Yeah, Russell Reyes is coming up at a rate of knots. So wow, Russell Reyes, terrific job from him.
New tires and straight into the car. Wow, he's looking quick.
That is good. The difference of a good set of tyres, but obviously they wear. And this advantage that you have at the start of your drive may well soon be dissipated. But Leo Sang, Quipi Racing, still in P9. Bakida, let's see if Bakida is going to come in at all. Nope. Decides to stay out. More than 2 hours gone. We're more than halfway through the race. There have been ups and downs, but the front three have been pretty consistent.
Ooh, who's that coming out? That's Nigel Chua, I think.
That is Nigel Chua, yeah. Nakib Aslan up into P15. Again, traffic. Of course, they made the early pit stop. So Nakib is just trying to come through traffic. And it'd be interesting to see where he ends up once everybody else has made their pit stops. And then it's all a case of how he looks after his car.
Yeah, I think he'll be still in the top 10, to be honest, after this all plays out. Because of, everyone has to pit. I mean, he's not too far. He's like 20 seconds behind Russell Reyes. Russell Reyes will be third. So I think Aslan will be maybe 6th, 7th once all these pit stops play out.
An interesting one here, another change. Andy Lawrenson has climbed back into the car, which is maybe why you weren't able to talk to him. Terry Rayton had a run. Lawrenson back in, so they've made a double change now. Down in P17, they got up to P12, but they've made their pit stop as well. As Amo Hazik goes into the pits.
Oh, good, they've called him in so that he can do some commentary.
He's going to have to wait half an hour. Interestingly, so Andika Rama now in P2. He stayed out last time. He's staying out a long time, Andika.
A bit unlucky with traffic. I have to feel for the Legion of Racers drivers. He has been unlucky with traffic, but also, I mean, I think, Gubala pitted early because of all the traffic. So sometimes you have to make your own luck.
Well, he's going to have to, he is going the long way round to avoid all the traffic there.
I love how the windscreen wipers move in the air. That's just like real life.
Out of my way.
I have to say, the back markers, people getting lapped, have actually done a really good job of getting out of the way. I know there have been a few instances. I know I'm going to get a lot of texts after this saying, no, people did not get out of the way very well, but I think it could have been worse.
Andika Malana in P2 at the moment as Bakida has been so good. Andy O'Hara will be inheriting a healthy lead, but we've seen it go bad as Andika Rama Malana comes into the pits. So Andika has made his move. He stayed out, accelerates as far as he can. Don't get a drive-through penalty for speeding in the pit lane, Andika. Bakida also in the pits ahead of them. So 1 and 2 both in the pits at the same time. And Andy O'Hara takes the wheel. That is a fabulous double shift for Pippa Bakida. Love to find out what happened to Philippa that caused her to drop from P1 to P3, but ends up the shift back in P1 and the lead 44 seconds, if we can believe that graphic.
Yeah, that'll change a bit, I think, because...
Yeah, I'm disbelieving on that. Andika still in there. Now, Andika will be replaced by Pratama, who's got to come out flying.
Yeah, Pratama's a quick driver as well, so... Yeah, he'll be flying straight away. And Fadli Rahman has changed. Who's in that car now?
Fadli is out.
Takuma.
Takuma.
So here he's going past.
Shokat Takuma.
And look at that. Look who's all over the back of him.
Russell Reyes.
Yeah. Wow, Russell Reyes has really maximized his time. He's jumped in that car and he's been flying. Come on, Russell Reyes, let's see you attack these cars.
Oh, Wolf and Nazarudin getting in the way as they are overtaken. And Takuma will feel this because Takuma is just getting used to the circuit. He'll be dry, won't he? He'll be a little bit flat.
Russell Reyes, he did the first stint, so he's warmed up. He's thought, oh look, Takuma's run wide again. The pressure is telling. Gosh, Russell Reyes might be through the second, net second, once all the pit stops play out.
Not enough space here, but Takuma can feel the heavy breath of that gorgeous Bentley. Although, fair play, Takuma has just raced away there, accelerates away beautifully. Reyes will close down, and maybe this is the moment when we get on board with Russell Reyes just to see what he's able to do with Takuma. Beautiful livery. I love the colour coordination of the JMX Phantom team. As the back markers are given the blue flag to tell them that there's people coming up at a rate of knots, and Poon doesn't get out of the way. Can't get out of the way. Now that's an effort from Russell Reyes to try and come through the inside. Spectacular from Russell Reyes.
Wow, what about that? Very opportunistic move, but he still has to defend the inside of the cops.
Shades of Hakkinen and Schumacher all those years ago.
Yes, exactly. What a great move. Russell Reyes now through. This will be net second once all these pit stops play out.
So Russell Reyes, P2, well, P4 officially. Andy O'Hara in a race of his own, in a league of his own, in a laundromat of his own for Team Laundry House. But
he's cleaning up.
Yes, he is. Save them all for the end. And look who's in P2. Yes, there's a pit stop still to come, but PP Racing, P2. These aren't the guys. These are the guys. P69.
Start from the pit lane. What a great job. P2, I think once the pit stops all cycle out, where will he be? He'll be in the top 6, I reckon, which is astounding. What a great job.
Well, Jonathan Wong is the man currently in P6 as he goes past Pereira and Wolf. He's the meet in a GT4 sandwich. Into the pits goes Mazdi for the Mean Machine. We keep having a go at them as Naki Baslan is now into the top 10. He'll be happy with this. I do like that whip pump. Let's find the car. There we go. Naki Baslan is there. Andy Lawrenson not too far behind in P13. Amo Hazik is out. Ayman Hazik is in. And let's should we have a look at the GT4s where Bernard Champ was leading by quite a way, and I think Bernard Champ is leading quite considerably. The championship leader for GT4, the academy pairing. So Bernard will be due a pit stop soon, I would imagine.
Yeah.
As he's stayed out quite a while. Naki Baslan comes in on the back of him, and Henry Coe has been lapped by Bernard Chan in that GT4 category. Why do they choose GT4? They want to win a category rather than...
Yeah, well, as you know, in ERGP, we like to rank our drivers. So we try to make the GT3 cars for the gold and silver class, and GT4 for bronze and copper drivers. Now, that doesn't mean, if you want to drive a GT3, you can. Anyone can drive a GT3. But it's just to stop the really good guys in gold and silver driving in GT4. That's why we have these classifications. So, you still do see some of the bronze and copper drivers driving the GT3s. But it's more important that, they have a class where they can compete against drivers their own standard. And it's just to stop the pros, shall I say, from jumping into the GT4 cars.
Okay, understood. Francis Matrio, the Filipino, he is trying to make a move to overlap. I think that's Chris Chong that he's trying to lap. So that's a GT4 versus a GT4. This is for VRS Racing, who have impressed in both classes so far today. Filipinos take e-racing pretty seriously.
Yeah, they do. They do indeed. But yeah, look how close it is. I mean, not close. I mean, it's a different lap. It is going to go lap himself. But Trulli did a good job, though, to get past the racing line car earlier on. They had a great battle. But the racing line car, Zikri's... No, not Zikri. Who was driving this racing line car earlier on? I think it was Nazir was driving.
Nazir Asman, yes.
And he's out of the car now, and I think it might be Wong. No, not Wong. It's Hakimi who's now in the car.
Mohamed Hakimi, this one. No?
No, the one, Zikri Hakimi.
Ah, Zikri.
There we go. So Zikri's now in the car. Actually, we have I think we got him in Zoom.
So Hakimi is in P4, car 57, Team Racing Line, ahead of Lopez, Malvinder Singh, who's a couple of laps down on this group, and Tenku Ursiad, Wolf, Enrico, Ronquillo, Nazaruddin, Adam Kondralochis, and Chris Jong.
Zikri looks like he's enjoying himself, actually, as he talks to his teammates, smiles quite a bit, looks pretty comfortable there in the Aston.
It is a pretty car, and I love the livery. Starsky and Hutch.
Yeah.
Look it up, all you kids. Or an update on how the race is looking at the moment. Andy O'Hara is leading the race in the McLaren, ahead of Sky Lai, who has yet to come in for a pit stop. Russell Reyes in the Bentley in P3, ahead of Pratama and Moreno in the Mercedes. The McLaren of Takuma, who's just had a second drive-through penalty. Wong from the BMW from Waco's Flip-the-Ball Racing. Naki Baslan up into the top 8 in the best of the Ferraris. Hakim and Chui complete the top 10. We'll be back for the finale of the ERGP Endurance Round 5 from Silverstone. We'll be back in about 3 minutes' time. A big thank you to our sponsors to help us sustain the ERGP series, started and designed by Alex Young, but we need sustain, so our thanks to X-Parks, our thanks to Royal Selangor for the prizes, and to Casio. Cue the watch, Alex, cue the watch, there you go. And the sponsors, and to Life. It's great to have you on board. It's all about the driving, though, and the driving has been dominated by Andy O'Hara and Pippa Bakida. They have got themselves a 44-second lead, Alex Young. That's a huge lead.
I mean, it's quite incredible, isn't it? I mean, you've seen both Laundry House cars right there fighting from the beginning with the JMX Phantom cars. But, you know, JMX Phantom with a couple drive-throughs, the second Laundry House car with not changing tires in the pit stops, having to do an extra pit stop. And Bakida and O'Hara, they're the ones that are just seemingly making the least amount of mistakes, and that's why they're out in front.
So the lead is 44 seconds. Equally impressive in their own way, though, has been driving the Bentley, which is a stately vehicle. Zooming around, though, in second place, Russell Reyes, who's on his second stint at the moment. And the Bentley's behaved beautifully at Silverstone. Track conditions really good. Third place will be Moreno Pratama, who has had, it wasn't he who had the drive-through penalty, was it? It was Tsukuma had the drive-through penalty. But Andika Rama and Moreno Pratama, top 3 place for Legion of Racers, Indonesian pairing. So far, looking very good. They've been very consistent.
Yeah, no, it's impressively done. Nice and steady in the early laps, but they just come through really well. I thought they were going to get Reyes for second, but Reyes and the Bentley's just been flying away. They just don't have an answer. But Legion of Racers have 2 in the top 4, because in 4th position is car 144. And Luis Moreno there from Philippines driving that car. He's taken over from Nigel Chua. So, yeah, Legion of Racers will be happy with that. 2 cars in the top 4. And, of course, the recovering Pui Pui Racing in 5th position. Wow, this car got stuck on the grid, had to start from the pit lane, and it's recovered from the very back all the way up to 5th. So, good recovery. You know, he qualified P3, should have been fighting for the lead. But still, unlucky with starting from the pit lane, but great recovery.
Yim is the third of the racers who've got into the car as well. So after that unhealthy start, my word, PP Racing have really come to the fore. So we've got an Australian team doing well, an Indonesian team doing well, a Hong Kong team doing well. Not doing so well are the usual guys, the Malaysians and the Singaporeans. The best that we've got, I think, is Naqib Aslam from Stratos Motorsports. So there's a bit of a geographical shift at Silverstone today.
Yeah, it is. But the Australians are doing well. Yeah, so, I mean, Naqib, Tasby was driving in this car first. He got unlucky. A back marker took him out because he would have been fighting for P3, P4. But they still, they're second in the championship, so they can't give up. They have to keep pushing.
Currently running in 8th place.
Yeah, currently in 8th place. Yeah, well, here are the other positions you can see. 9th position is, what's that Mean Machine.
Yeah,
in
Mean
9th
Machine,
position.
Hakim Mardini.
Really good to see them. And there's the second Laundry House car recovering to P10. Dropped outside of the 10 after that poor unfortunate mistake earlier on.
So actually, let's just talk about Andy Lawrenson, because he gave us a great explanation before of why they were suffering. Forgot to put new tyres on.
Yeah. Now I've had a tweet saying that, or something on Facebook saying that it was finger problem. What a disaster for finger problem. Wasn't a glitch, but I don't know if that's true or not. But yeah, so this car, again, another one of these cars that should be fighting the top 4. Endurance racing is not just about being quick. You have to be consistent. You have to be good with the traffic. You have to not make mistakes. And that's how you win races and championships.
I also believe that we are able to talk to Amo Hazik, who was racing earlier on for Team Blue Steel. Handed over, I think, 15th place to Ayman Hazik. And if Amo, if you can hear us, tell us about your drive today. Except he can't hear us.
He can't hear us. He's probably got his mic on mute for all we know. But let's see if he can join us now. He'll come on in a sec.
In the meantime, Andy O'Hara still extends that lead. It really is impressive. He's got back markers. In fact, is that the Stratos Motors? No, it's not Stratos. Who is it he's just coming up to? Is it Stratos? It is, It's Naqib Aslam, who is feeling the pressure of about to be overtaken. Now Naqib, poor old Naqib. This is what it is like to be mortal, Naqib Aslam.
Yeah, it's about to get lapped by the leader. Tough day for Stratos Motorsports. That's 3 races in a row now in Endurance Edition that they've struggled. So yeah, that's why they're second in the championship, not leading. Okay, let's join us. Amo Hazik, you want to take us through? You just got out of the car. How was your stint?
Yeah, quite well actually, to be honest. Managed to hold the car up from the position of top 20 to close to top 10. Amazi right now is in the car, but unfortunately he's not having the pace, so we're just hoping that if things go our way, we might just sneak into the top 10, hopefully.
At the moment, Ayman is, we're on board with Ayman at the moment. He's running in P14. The lap time's just around about the 2-minute mark. A best lap time for this vehicle, Amo, of 1:59.634, which I think was your lap time. Amo, a 2:05. What's wrong? How's he not got the speed at the moment?
Yeah, probably he's not comfortable with the car. He did say just now that there was just no pace. Compared to when I'm just saying on my behalf, because in my stint, the car just felt great. That's why I managed to get into the 59s along with Tai Win. Amazi was in the 59s at one point, but then the tires just kind of faded off, probably due to the changing conditions, which is much colder right now, actually.
I was going to say, are there any tricky parts on the circuit that you found particularly difficult? Any corners that were more difficult or a bit more slippery than you anticipated?
First turn tops, yeah, that's quite a tricky one, especially in the 488. We found a way to actually overcome that by just putting it into third gear and then rev the hell out of it. So that's how the car we can get it to turn around. Other parts, maybe the Grand Prix first corner, which is Aintree, that's quite sketchy as well. We just have to avoid the curves. Mid-engine cars like Ferrari and McLaren, they just don't like curves. We just have to avoid them at all costs.
Well, at the moment, your Blue Steel Racing team are in 14th place, which will accumulate points. But at the moment, the race leader, if you can join me in commentary for a little while, Amo, is Andy O'Hara. Now, the Laundry House Endurance team have had a sensational performance today. Apart from one little glitch, Philippa Bakida was leading comfortably 4 seconds. We took our eyes off that, and then suddenly she was 7 seconds adrift. Have you had any correspondence or seen anything in the chat as to what went wrong with Laundry House on that first stint for Philippa?
As far as we know, I think she was involved in a slight collision with maybe it was Fani Rama or Shaka Takuma, I'm not sure. But yeah, the deficit was about 7 seconds. It was a big swing, so I think something might have happened on track. We're not really sure, but yeah, apart from that slight blip, Laundry House are just looking good to extend the lead in the championship for the number 19.
They are. They've been so consistent. Andy O'Hara in the car at the moment. He's serving the first of his 2 stints. There is one more pit stop to go, and there are dangers because the back markers, although they've been well behaved, there is always a danger when there's a back marker ahead of you, Amo.
Yeah, in fact, there's the worst part of actually overtaking on this circuit is when you encounter back markers at the slower bits. You know, like the new arena section, or it's now considered old nowadays because it's 10 years old. But in the arena section for the Grand Prix layout, if you get stuck behind traffic there, you're going to lose a heck of a lot of time. And for Imahasi, he lost about 3 seconds at one point trying to overtake GT4 back markers. So yeah, it's actually quite a tricky circuit to overtake. And unfortunately, the deficit in terms of power is not that evident here compared to what we had last time at Paul Ricard.
Okay, let's just change our attention away to the GT4s, and Bernard Chan was leading. Who's leading? Is it is it Aldo? Who's the best? Yeah, so Aldo Balagulan is leading in the GT4 BMWs, top of the pile. That suggests, is Aldo Bernard Chan's partner? He's not, is he? There's been a change. There's been a change of leadership in the GT4s.
Yeah, in fact, right now, Nicky Lim's actually driving car number 21, while Zikri Hakimi in car 57 is the closest challenger, only about, 11 seconds right now in the interval between the 2 cars. So that would be quite interesting to see, because Rising Line, coming into this race, were quite confident. They actually feel like they got the pace to actually win, or, podium, but winning for them is a bonus.
Well, there is Zikri Hakimi, who's in P2, but they were in P... No, Aldo was in P1, wasn't he? Yes. No, what's happened to the Bernard Chan?
So something must have happened to the car 21 because they've dropped down to P3.
Nicky Lim is down in P3. That is a big differential because they were about 10 seconds clear. So to me, it looks like they've lost about 30 seconds, Ammo, between Nicky Lim and Bernard Chan.
Yeah, that's probably the reason. Probably is a pit stop. I'm really sure of that because it's not a pit stop, wasn't it? Because
no, it's not a pit stop. Something's happened to this car because they've lost a chunk of time. Oh dear. Talking about another driver that has lost a chunk of time, we could talk to Mohammed Tasbi actually. He's just got out of the car 111. Have a quick word with him. Do you guys want to chat to him?
Love to.
Yeah, that would be great because I heard about the accident between him and the 22 car. That was actually a big one. I heard one car went up on 2 wheels, so it would be interesting to hear on what happened there.
Well, he's in set right now. Tasbi, how's your race been?
Yeah, you guys can hear me?
Yep.
Yep, I guess it was a good race actually. The pace was surprising because the car's not supposed to perform here, but I was able to keep up with the ACC specialist guys, and unfortunate accident. He went off track and he just came back on the racing line, and I couldn't do anything about it.
How much time did it cost you? Because we saw you were in the top 5, and then suddenly you weren't.
Yeah, we were gaining on third, 1 second a lap. After the crash, we lost 10 seconds from the crash, and each lap we were losing 2 seconds. So we were just finding the pit stop window for Akib to get back on the car and repair the damages. So yeah, now he's back and we're playing catch up.
Indeed, I saw you pitted early and Nakib came out flying. At the moment he's up into P8. What's your realistic or optimistic view of where you can finish?
I think P5 should be achievable. Could be achievable if everything goes right. But it's racing, anything can happen. And who knows? We could even get to P4 maybe.
Okay, I'm assuming Nakib is, or the theory is Nakib will stay out there for the rest of the race. You've done your 2 stints.
Yep, correct.
Excellent. Good job, Tasbi, as always.
Right.
As always,
Thank you.
And great interview.
Thanks,
Thank you.
And happy belated birthday to Des.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Don't get old, Amo. Don't get old.
I think that's a reference to the Who, I guess.
No, it's a reference to me. Anyway, who would you like to talk about, Amo? Who's impressed you in your observations? Obviously, you've had your own team to worry about, but who would you like to just focus on and give us some background on? Because we're with Nakib at the moment, but who else would you like to talk to or talk about?
We can probably go to the car behind him, which was Abdul Hakim Ruiz, I think. Yeah, car 218, the Mean Machine car, which is also having a partnership with Speed Tavern now. They seem to be actually performing quite well here. 9th place. This would be their best finish of the season, and they'll finally get points on the board because at the moment, at least, they're not classified in the standings. They're equal 30th because only 29 cars have scored points this season in GT3. So quite nice to see this car up there. Too bad they're not running any anime liveries because prior to that they were actually running an anime livery on the right hand side of the car, but now they go more towards a conventional Aston Martin-ish type of livery.
Hey, I tell you, Alex and I are completely flummoxed by the anime liveries that we've got. Talk to us a little bit about the animes. Not too much on Hakim, but what is all this craze?
Yeah, so apparently it was just like spur of the moment, some sort of anniversary for this anime called Sword Art Online. And we can go to the car in third place right now, car 889, which is driven by Marino Pratama. That is part of the anime called Sword Art Online, and that is a character named Sinon. So don't know what's the occasion. Probably it's an anniversary. Probably it's tied into something, but it's quite nice to see an all anime livery. So it's a bit tied into the real world because Mercedes crew, I think it was Black Falcon or something. They ran anime liveries at Spa a couple of years ago. So probably it's just a homage to that.
So anime related to the real world. Okay, now I've heard it all, Amo Hazi. Andy O'Hara in the real world. He has got a healthy lead. He's on his 80th lap at the moment. About to come through lap 81, if I've got the right start-finish line right. No, I haven't. That's the old start. But Andy O'Hara, they are so quick. What is the difference between Laundry House? Now, obviously, they're used to the sim. They've raced the sim, but it's such a huge differential between how these guys are performing. 43 seconds ahead of the next pass. How do you get that far ahead?
Probably it's just like them practicing all the way because, again, if you see them in their social media posts, they don't really take themselves seriously, but in actuality, they do. They really know what it's like to win races and win even championships. And they are competing in the GT World Challenge, I think Asia. Yeah, so they know what they're doing. GT World Challenge Asia Esports, of course, SRO Esports. Very good team, very accomplished, and they got really a good set of drivers. And I'm hoping to see Matthew Marsh drive in one of these cars one day because he's also part of their team roster. That would be quite interesting to see the contrast between a real world champion who's driven in Porsche Carrera Cup and won in Asia, and then after that he jumped into these cars in virtual to compare himself against the best of these guys.
You're quite right. That would be great to see. Great to see. Let's talk about the other Laundry House driver, Andy Lawrenson and Terry Rayner. They got into a dreadful mix-up. There was a finger problem we've discovered that meant that they went out without changing their tyres in a pit stop, which is incomprehensible to somebody of my limited knowledge, but obviously an easy mistake to make because these guys are experienced.
Actually, it is an easy mistake to make, Des, because like the pit menu that you open up on your left-hand side of the screen, if you were to actually just go away for a second, we got car 82, that's actually the Team Uncle car getting disqualified by race control. I thought for a second that car 22 would be it because it's been causing a few collisions, but besides the point, if you were to select a tire and then you move to the next pit menu, it will go back to the older set of tires. So I believe Rayton might have actually chosen the wrong set of tire for his stop, and he had to come in again. So I kind of noticed him. He was ahead of us. Then suddenly he pitted again, came behind us, and he came storming in like gangbusters. So probably it's just to make up lost time. But right now, at least, it's not too detrimental. Top 10, but it could have been more for these guys.
Certainly could. We had a great interview with Andy Lawrenson, who's in the car at the moment, on board with him at the moment, and he said, we asked him, what's a realistic target? He said top 10, but it looks like they are closing in on Abdul Hakim as well. So Andy Lawrenson is just 3 seconds down with more than an hour and a quarter still to go. It's a possibility that these guys could even get up into the top 7 or 8. Encyclopedia, that is Amo Hazik alongside me. There's Korkil in the commentary box as we come with 1 hour and 5 minutes remaining of round 3 of the E-Racing GP Endurance Round 5. Alex Young is the architect of this whole series, and I'll pass over to Alex to take us through with Amo for the last hour. And at the moment it's O'Hara who leads, with Reyes in second as we just pull up the timetable. O'Hara and Bakida who lead healthily from Reyes and Gubala. Patama and Milana in the first of the Mercedes ahead of Yim, Lai and Wong in the McLarens. What a performance by that team, the Pui Racing team. Moreno and Nigel Chua's combination in P5. Takuma and Fadli Rakhmat, who at one time were leading, down in P6. Wong and Law in the best of the BMW 7. Lawrence and Rayton have got themselves up into 8 because Nakib Aslan, Alex Young, has dropped down the reckoning. Nakib down in P11.
Because they pitted, actually. They pitted, yeah.
So they pitted. So that's their. They've got one more pit to do, though.
Nope.
Or is that their lap pit?
That's the last. That's the last pit stop. Okay.
So with that, I hand over to Amo and what's your name again, Alex? To take
Never
us
get
through,
over that.
boss, to take us through to the end of this fabulous race.
Thanks very much, Des, and happy birthday to the birthday boy. As usual, Des's awesome commentary is just such a privilege to be part of. Yeah, so you have Aslan with the pit. Ammo, I think that's the right move, isn't it? Get some fresh tyres on.
Yep, and they're within that 1 minute and 15 second mark where is still limit, so they're good to the end here. The Ferrari is looking good for a strong top 10 finish.
Of course, you can see the flash branding on that rear wing. Because Mohamed Tasbi, who is his teammate, is the one that is races Flash.
Yeah, and Alif, of course, is part of that, but unfortunately he's not here this weekend because he's still doing national service. So good luck to you, mate, and hopefully we can see you for the next round of E1 and be competitive with that one. But so far, at least, these guys are competitive right now. Just that minor accident where that was a big one, wasn't it, Alex? That the Ferrari, this particular Ferrari was involved, and luckily was still in the race. It wasn't too detrimental to damage.
Yeah, no, it was a very bad incident. The guilty party did get a drive-through. Who else shall we have a look at?
Can we look at the battle for GT4, because it is actually quite close right now between Aldo Balagulan and Zikri Hakimi. And I told Des just now, spoken to Zikri before, he was actually really confident in this race. They were confident of a podium, but they would say a win is a bonus. And look at that, only 6.2 seconds. In fact, he's closing this lap by about 1.5 seconds.
Yeah.
So Balagulan's actually slowing the car a bit, or is he coming to the pits, or is he struggling with tires? Who knows? Because right now, the Aston Martin of Zikri Hakimi is coming quite fast.
Yeah, he's only 1 second behind the leader. There is Zikri there in second position. Nicky Lim there in third position. Oh, he looks like he's a good half a lap behind. Yeah, this car 21, the Academy car, looks like it's pulled out of the reckoning for that. But yeah, back to the lead there. Balagulan, like you said, is that gap is coming down between Zikri and himself.
Yeah, and it is actually now, they're coming across the line now, looking at the GT4 gap, sorry. Okay, Balagulan crosses. Where is Zikri? Zikri's coming through the final corner now, and he's coming across. It's risen back up to 7 seconds slightly because the BMW is just that more powerful on the straight. But it is closing, and it's going to be an interesting battle to see in this race among the race.
That's right. So yeah, I mean this. I mean for a 4-hour race, 7 seconds nothing, isn't it? It's like a half a second gap in a sprint race. So still plenty of time. You know, you just get a little bit of traffic, or you lose a lot of time for getting lapped, and that gap could be nothing.
Yeah, and a GT3 car can easily wipe that out completely if they get an overtake wrong. So yeah, like we're saying right now, Balagulan is actually being caught by Lawrenson and Abdelmuiz Hakim, and he moves out of the way gently, but that has cost him a bit of time. In fact, there's another GT3 car coming right behind him, which is Oscar Lau. So this is going to be a problem for Balagulan if he can't negotiate the traffic fast enough. That will mean an opportunity for the number 57 to catch up.
Absolutely. Okay, let's see who else is out there. It looks Nicky Lim there, P3 for the Academy car. Chester Lamb there in the first of the Komachi racing cars. He's also quite a bit further back. Looks like he's a lap down even. Andres Wolf. Actually, we haven't talked about this car a bit, has it? Hold My Beer Racing is up to 5th position.
Yeah, and look at the sponsorship on that car. Plenty of interested parties sponsoring this one as well. And they take their racing seriously despite the rather funny name. But don't drink and drive, of course. Yeah, they are now currently 14th and 15th in the teams championship. They probably came in just slightly later, but so far at least their best finish of the season, top 5 for the number 13 crew. And where is the number 11? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 9th in class for the number 11 car. So top 10 for both cars. That's quite a good return for them.
Yeah, and we're watching right now Andreas Wolf right now on screen. Yeah, the Copa BM Racing, I think they came in only in round 3, so that's why they're not really anywhere there in the championship. Like you said, kind of fun. I love the name, but definitely taking it seriously.
Yep, and seriously, also enough that they got so much sponsors on the car, and they got a crack team of drivers, we can safely say, among this group, because I know Runkio and Wolf also racing ERGP, the global edition. So really, these guys just love their racing. They want to take part in every single competition possible. And right now, at least, 5th place for the number 13 car is a good enough result, unless he can chase Tesla. He's only 7.8 seconds behind that particular car as well. So Kamachi Racing number 919 has to look in his mirror soon.
Yeah, his last lap 2:12 for Wolf. Chester Lamb ahead of him did a 13.8. So closing the gap, and wow, look how much this car rolls. Car rolls plenty, doesn't it, through the corners? GT4
Yeah, you might
cars.
say, yep. Oh, accident before that we go. Accident. Car number 16, Nasaruddin, has been spun around, and I presume it was hit by a GT3 car while they're being lapped. So a bit of a baptism of fire for the FAC Racing, and there's Andreas Fu coming through right now. So safely, one to be cautious. But yeah, the body roll on these cars, because GT4 cars are slightly higher in terms of ride height setup compared to GT3 cars, which are much lower to create more aerodynamics. Now then, who are we focusing on right now? Because apart from that little drama that's happening further behind, nothing seems to be happening in terms of the front of the grid, which of course has been led away by Andrew O'Hara. 404 for track limits, so that's a drive-through for the Hyperbulls car. Battle for GT4. That's what we're going to watch out for, because it's now 1.2 seconds between these two cars.
Let's get down there and have a look. Which driver are we looking at?
I think we can look at Hakimi, because Hakimi is the one that has got the bit between his teeth. He managed to close the gap that was about 7 seconds to now just over 2 seconds here, and we got about 40 minutes left to go. Not sure about the pit stops with these cars, because GT4 cars tend to run a bit longer, but it's going to be an exciting battle in this class.
Yeah, he's 2 seconds behind. He is closing down that gap. The last lap was a 2:11, which, well, actually, to be honest, Matrillo did a 2:12. So yeah, he is closing down that gap. Half a second a lap, 1 second a lap. So, wow, look at that. They're both in shot there.
Yep, and this is actually quite a nice battle to see, because the battle for the lead in GT3, you can say it's a bit of a lost cause, because the McLaren there has got that thing covered as 969 gets his top and go penalty, 30 seconds for speeding in the pit lane. So from bad to worse for that particular car, it's just not going right, isn't it, for them? And Reyes is also in the pits. So the guys that we are tipping to do the business are actually now tipping themselves over into a fit. What's going on right now? We're not really sure. Oh, no wonder. 311 got disconnected. So thank you, Momoy, for actually giving us that information. Now Reyes is back into the pit lane again.
No.
So that's definitely terminal and game over, I guess. There's no way they're going to come back from this in the final 40 minutes.
Such a
The car's
shame.
out now. Yeah, such a shame.
Yeah. 969 and car 311. Wow, such a shame for them.
Absolutely. Well, for 911, Andrew Lawrenson on Facebook said, 911 aiming for a strategic 8th to minimize ballast for double points round at Spa. Yeah. Is it double points, actually, Alex?
Yeah, it's double points for the last round. It's a 12-hour race. But the ballast will be on championship position for the last round, not on the results of this.
Ah, okay. As that might be a bit of a miscalculation on that part, but they will still carry quite a lot of ballast, don't they? Because they are about, what? Looking through the spotters guide. 8th in the championship, I think?
Yeah, I mean, 8th for the championship, I think. So they won't be carrying much ballast. But I tell you who's carrying a lot of ballast, it's the car 90, but that car 90 doesn't seem to be affected by it. It's still leading quite a bit. Look at that, Zikri getting closest to Matrillo.
And Zikri, Tell you what, I was actually quite impressed to see them up this high, actually, when I was coming into the box for the first time. They actually are going for the win. They did say bonus would be a podium, but a win, they might be celebrating for weeks. And speaking of double points, by the way, retrospectively, we already had a 12-hour race in Barcelona. Will we actually count double points for that? Because we only count normal points for that one in that particular regard. So, accident, sorry. Accident, car 16 into the 16 place in the barriers. It was Sumu Debia. He went up while I was watching the back markers.
I can't find it. Where is that? Never mind. Missed. Yeah, no, in the regulations it was always written that the last race of the season would be double points. So that'll be interesting to watch. The first race was never going to be double points.
Fair enough. And Lawrenson actually gave us a bit of a raspberry there. Thank you for that. Because you know, it's just like technicalities. When championships actually are setting out rules, there happen to be some things that are locked in, and ballast for the final round of the championship happens to be one of them that is locked in.
Okay, still quite a few protests coming through.
Yep, and our stewards, including lead steward today, is Farik Haraman, former Asian Touring Car champion and Petronas driver, doing the stewarding today. Not a bad job he's doing today, isn't he? He's given out penalties that are considered very fair, to say the least.
Yeah, I've had no problem with any of his decisions so far, to be honest. So yeah, he's done a great job, I think.
Shout out to Farik Haraman. And where we're watching now on the screen, we are looking at the battle for P1 and GT4, but at the moment at least, looks like Materials stretched the gap slightly, but Hakimi Zikri knows full well the win is on the cards here for the Rising Line team. And what a way for them to actually celebrate that. It's a win at Silverstone, where their car's from.
Wow, Andrew O'Hara just did a 57.9. He's just not letting up at all.
Mashing it. Well, we did say earlier that, well, he might just be off the gas trying to conserve the car. He's just like, nope, I'm going to go for fastest lap. And is there points for fastest lap, actually, Alex?
I can't remember. I'll have to check out the regulations. We often do have points for fastest lap, but I do not remember for this. That's what the regulations are there for.
Yep, so we can just go back to it every time just in case we forget about it. But to tell you something, 57 in race pace. Not even some of the drivers who are in GT3 can do that in qualifying.
Yeah,
that's just impressive.
That's super impressive. How was your qualifying? What time did you get down to?
We got to 58.5 with Kaiwan. Yeah, Kaiwan wanted to start the car, and unfortunately we ended up in 25th place on the grid. Now we're up to 13th. So if you were to give the heart charger, who will you give it to the Kyo Yim car or to our car?
Kyo Yim car. Okay, I'll give it to both your cars. How does that sound? Anyway, Kyo Yim's in the pit. This is his last pit stop, 35 minutes ago. Okay, I was out by 5 minutes. Yeah, it's too long to. He's definitely changing tires, but he'll put less fuel in the car, so the car should be lighter. This will bring him out to what, P4?
I'll tell you what, he actually can still be P3 because Moreno Pratama just overtook him. So Pratama comes through.
Yeah,
we're waiting for
P2.
Where's Moreno on the track? Moreno's coming through the love field. They are in third place.
Yeah, Kyo Yin's going to stay in third place. What a great job by this team. From last on the first lap to P3. P3.
Wow, that's just like not a nice way to put it. And I'm not referring to the number they're running right now. Actually, that's a nice recovery from them to actually be from the back of the grid to go up all the way to third place, and even actually at one point leading the race when O'Hara was in the pits.
Yeah. So behind him, P4. There we got. Is that Luis Moreno there, just in the whip cam? And then we got Takuma there going through turn 1 right now in 5th position. JMX, well, top 5 is still okay, but to be honest, they'll be very disappointed with this because JMX is still hunting for their first win in the Endurance Edition, and they're getting closer though, so hopefully they'll take some encouragement from this.
And they probably tried to calm down a bit, you know, because it was Fadli that was driving them when he got the penalties. So, yeah, he is fast, there's no denying it, and he has driven in the SRE Sports Asia, but it's just that there were certain occasions where they could have actually had moments where they could have won, but then they lost that win. And I see him to be the kind of driver that does the job quite often as well, but it's just uncharacteristically sloppy from him sometimes. And in this particular round, this is what cost them the win. They should be up there alongside O'Hara and Pratama right now.
So this is interesting. This battle for 5th position is starting for 6th position, sorry, between what's that, the Wacko's Flip Table car and Stratos Motorsports car 111. Nakib is closing the gap slowly, but I have to say this BMW is just at a 59.1 on the last lap, so he's getting some pace. He's finding some pace with just a little bit longer to go. Yeah, so closing out that. We'll come back to this battle in a while. Let's go back down to the battle for GT4 again. Petrillo there, oh, still hanging on to the lead, but Zikri not really closing down that gap. It's kind of status quo at the moment. 2 seconds.
Yeah, status quo, and now just a whisker above 2 seconds. So the gap's fluctuating a bit, and Zikri now has to probably think about trying to conserve the car, because at the moment at least, this will be the best finish of the season. The win is possible, but at the same time, you can't tell that the racing driver, isn't it? You can't tell him to calm down when the win's on the line.
Absolutely. He's got to push. He's got to go for it. Go for the win, young fella. Don't settle for second.
And I guess the classes that he came in the midweek prior to the race has paid off for him. He really is gunning for it. What's his best lap time so far in this particular car? Going through right now. Where are they on the track? I'm looking through my camera.
Best times at 10.6. His last lap was 11.1, so he's really, really pushing.
Oh yeah, you're right. 10.6, and that's a very good race pace, because 10th was what he was aiming for. And what's Matrio doing? Matrio is doing an 11.7. Whoa, 6/10 faster than last time out. He's definitely got a bit between his teeth here, but he's gonna have to not negotiate, but has to let GT3 traffic through, and that's KOM right behind him. Oh no, that's Yupi Chan. That's in the second of the PUP racing cars. Lucky for him, there was enough room on the outside. But I don't know how it feels like to be overtaking to be in the lesser class compared to the faster class. You've been there before, Alex, in LMP2, where you're gonna have to let LMP1 cars pass, and you had the battle for position. How hard is it that you get through that?
You just have to be smart. You have to really look ahead and try and be careful. Like Zikri doing this is not smart. I mean, holding the inside and pinching. I would have just gone wide and followed the GT3 car, because then it would have, you have to be slow on the entry, but you could have got a very good exit. So yeah, I mean, when you're overtaking someone, you got to be clever and try not to just run up to the back of them and then just get slowed down in the corners. Leave the gaps so you get a good run of them out of the corners. Same when you're getting overtaken. Sometimes it's better just to try and brake late and go wide, because that allows the car to go down the inside of you. But because you're braking later, you're minimizing the loss. It's all about minimizing the loss. You can never be the same lap time. And that's what the top GT drivers always think about, and it's what the manufacturers look like. You might have one guy who might be a 10th quicker over one lap, but might lose 30 seconds over a race, over a stint. And manufacturers always take this into consideration on how clever you can be and minimizing that loss.
Absolutely, and speaking of time loss, right, that's the kind of thing that Yamaha was suffering. He was losing a lot of time when coming through traffic. We were ahead of the number 63 GSR car at 1.4, about 14 seconds. It took about less than 7 or 8 laps for the car to be right behind us, because we lost a lot of time in traffic. So that's kind of like the thing that you point out, Alex. It's just trying to minimize time loss in traffic or being negotiated.
Yeah, because we talked about that incident, Zikri onto the Wellington straight the lap before. He just, no point going side by side with the car, because you're just going to bleed so much lap time. And he was within 2 seconds of the leader. Now he's over 2.5 seconds, 2.9 seconds. So I think Zikri is quick over a single lap at the moment. But I think what we'll be working with him next time is working on traffic, trying to minimize those losses when he's getting overtaken.
Yeah, and it's not easy being the lesser class in a class of 2 different cars in the same race. Yeah. You're gonna have to give way. I suppose it's like we run all GT3 cars, and the amateur drivers just have to be a bit more smart about it, because they're in the same type of speeds. But in this case, because they're in a lesser class, they're gonna have to look in the mirrors quite often.
Yeah, that's just a fact of life. You just have to learn to drive in your mirrors, and you get used to it. But you do have to be very aware. You can't just be lazy. Okay, let's go back to the battle for second position, because I have a feeling that's heating up. We're riding on board with Kyo Yim there in Pui Racing, car number 69, and he's closed that gap. It's 2.5 seconds. It was on 4 seconds a couple laps ago. It's now 2.5 seconds from second position, Legion of Races car.
Yeah, Maria Pratama might be looking in his mirrors now as he's getting through some lap traffic. There's Chester Lam in the Kamachi racing car that he just went through. And he's got Sabino Lay in the Hong Kong racing car, sorry, Macau esports car. So that's a couple of traffic to negotiate. Yim's going to negotiate that now. And Pratama's still behind. So Sabino Lay there might be a bit of a banana peel for Pratama to negotiate.
There is Pratama, just 2 seconds up the road. Ooh, Lay's going to slow him down. Pratama's getting impatient. He knows this second position is under threat, doesn't he?
Yes, and that, look at that. He's costing him more time. That he flashed the lights at him, and Lay just didn't give him away. That has cost more time. Now look at that, 2.1 seconds as they went through the sector, the mini sector loops. And I think he's even less than that by now, because look at that. Yim is right behind Sabino Lay, and crucially now, just a second behind Maria Pratama. This battle for second is still on. It's definitely on.
Oh, Lay gets out of the way now. Lay by.
Oh god, he would not appreciate that one bit.
The dad jokes are coming out.
Oh yes, and I'm not old enough to say that. Anyway, yeah, that particular exchange between Sabino Lay and Marino Pratama has benefited Kyo Yim absolutely tremendously. And Sabino Lay didn't put up much of a fight against Kyo Yim. Now he's got him between his sights, and the McLaren being the car to have at this circuit, you might put your money in and say that, yep, Kyo Yim is on the money to get second place here.
Yeah, he is, isn't he?
Coming through now to Chapel and onto the Hangar Straight. He's got the slipstream here. It's only 8 temps, and the slipstream is actually rather decent in ACC. It's not as potent as certain games or certain classes of car where you can get a slipstream in under just 5 tenths, but it is close enough that actually you can feel it suck you into the back of the car. And Yim then 5 tenths now. Pratama, that particular exchange has not been beneficial for him whatsoever. We're gonna see a grandstand finish for the battle for second. Never mind the lead, it's gonna be O'Hara's anyway, but the battle for second here is truly heating up, and we still have the small matter of other positions being solved around, including the class win in GT4.
Wow.
So then,
Yeah, Pratama blocks off he thought he was going to dive. Oh, they're covering the inside. Oh,
yeah.
that was a bad move. You could see Pratama was locking up the inside, so I was hoping he was going to go wide before sweeping in. But yes, Pratama being clever there, placing the car in the right position to just prevent Yo Yim from trying to do a dive.
Yeah, and he's not going to get it through Brooklands here. Not at Luffield either. And definitely don't want to try coming through Cox, because you don't want to create another situation where it is an absolute big high-speed impact for one car. And they don't want it here because, remember, the minimum you can give is, okay, time penalty, but stop and go penalty as well, actually, isn't it, Alex?
That's right, you can get a drive-through and a stop-and-go 10-second penalty. Actually, we've handed a few of those out today already. Oh, that's close here, isn't he?
Oh, he is.
No, he can't take that.
Coming through Stowe might be a possibility if he is even closer right now. And good on-board shot there. We got to see how close he is in relation to the Mercedes right in front of him. Out of Beckett's into Chapel. And he is closer this time around compared to the last time around. So Pratama is trying his best to break that slipstream. He can't move too much. But that McLaren is so good on the straight as well. He can actually try to dive on the inside here. No. 2 tenths, 3 tenths now. The gap's closing, and Pratama then can't have a single moment to relax here in the final 8 minutes that remain.
Yeah, Yim there making a mistake, missing the apex and still. He has to be perfect if he's going to overtake Pratama. To set himself up, he has to be perfect while sending under the rear wing of Pratama to try and have a chance.
Yeah, and also there's a bit of an outwash on him because there is a bit of dirty air these cars in the development of GT3 cars where aerodynamics has become so crucial. You can see there, a bit of an outwash. The car just cannot turn because it's in the dirty air.
Ooh, Pratama steps wide. He's losing it.
Yep, there's a chance here for Kyo Yim to go around the outside. And Moreno's giving him plenty of space. That's good respect from both drivers. but that's going to be beneficial for Kylian because he's going to get a good run onto the Wellington straight. Now then, is this going to be the moment for the McLaren to go up to second? Pratama defending well and defending fairly. He holds the inside line, coming through Brooklands. Kylian then not close enough this time round, and still second place belongs to Marina Pratama. Kylian thought he had a chance. Pratama using the slight power advantage that the Mercedes has to keep ahead of him. But you can tell that McLaren is even faster because he's in the slipstream right now. Coming up to the start-finish line. Will he be able to make it through Cox?
Pratama defended, but then moves back to the line. Okay, you just got to stay close here. Yim has to be patient. He has to be patient. Doesn't want to trip up. He just wants to be. He wants to just get on the hanger straight and be as close as possible. That's good. Make him defend. Okay, get the other side of him and then back to the other side for the left-hander. If he gets a good exit out this last corner, because there's a back marker there slowing him down as well. He can get him into stone. Good exit.
Yeah. Oh, this is almost Michael Schumacher, Ricardo Zonta, Mika Hakkinen situation. They're going side by side on the hanger straight. Inside is Pratama, outside is Kylian. Who's going to be bravest on the brakes? It's going to be the Mercedes on the inside, and Pratama still holds on. Wow, Alex Chia might have felt like Ricardo Zonta for a second there back in 2000 when in the Belgian Grand Prix.
Pratama was very clever there. He got to the apex and he lifted, forced Kylian to get off the throttle, and had the gap so he didn't have to defend into Vale.
Yeah, whoa. Quite a good battle we have here for second place, and I didn't expect that the front runners in GT3 could be this close because we still have that small matter of GT4 to watch out for, but this is good enough as well. This is front row seats here to the best battle in the house with the final 6 minutes here we have in the race for hours, and they're still close to each other by only a couple of tenths. That's amazing. And there's another back marker there. That's the FSA racing car going on the way. That's quite clean. And there's another back marker as well in front of them.
Okay, Pratama got jinked by that. That little jink there by Kylian, I think, unsettled Pratama, and he missed the apex. And look at that. He's close enough, isn't he?
Yes, he's coming onto the Wellington straight here. But no, that Mercedes still has the legs up on the McLaren coming through Brooklands. Are they going to try? Is he going to try? No. Again, Pratama defends well, and very respectfully so, actually. Great respect between these two drivers as they come through a Hyperbulls car. That's going to be a potential banana skin. Luckily, they managed to get through. Now the battle resumes again. And, well, what does Pratama have to do to get rid of very stubborn McLaren, who has been the driver of the race here, apart from Andrew O'Hara? Kylian has brought that car all the way up to the front. Now it's going to be up to him whether or not he could take this car to be up to second.
Make it defend. That's the way you got to get it.
Wow. Yeah, I tell you what, just because due to the nature of GT3 racing, where the cars are just almost relatively about equal, these cars are just so equal. But now Kylian has actually gotten a better run out of Chapel onto the hanger straight. Can he make it through this time? He's on the outside again, but Pratama is trying to make him go the long way around, coming through Stowe. But is Kylian going to tough it out? He's going to go through. He's already outside. He is actually getting the line. He nearly got it. Now that he's got the inside line coming through Vale. This is definitely the move on for Kylian. Can he make it stick? Unlike what happened to Naki Baslan. Side by side. Pratama holds around the outside. And yes, Kylian actually gets ahead for the first time between the battle for second. But it's still going side by side. Coming out of the Vale section onto the Grand Prix start-finish straight. On the outside there, is that legal, Alex? Because he's overtaking him on the outside. Kylian now up second. They're still side by side coming through the arena section. And Kylian does get it through in the end. What a move, but the battle's still not over.
Wow, it's going to go down the outside. Whoa! Contact between the two of them.
Contact there. And luckily it was just minuscule because the cars just wiggle a bit. But Kylian, I think, just made that move stick. But would it be questionable because he made that move? He completely overtook him on the outside onto the runoff area. Normally that would be a penalty, wouldn't it, Alex?
Well, that's one for the stewards. I know I'd be arguing that I was in front of the car and I was just making sure that I had enough space. Let's see what the stewards say. Definitely, I'm sure we won't hear the last of it.
Larry Harriman having a very busy day in the steward's office.
He is indeed.
Yeah, and wow, what about that? That's quite the tonic we needed, actually, because we thought it was going to be just a really serene final hour of this race. Well, we're happy to be proven wrong now. And Kylian, driver of the day for us, don't you think, Alex?
Well, yeah, the whole team. I mean, don't forget there are 3 drivers in this team. Yeah, done a really, really good job.
Absolutely brilliant job here. And then he started from the pits with Marco Wong actually having trouble trying to get on the grid. So
Here
we move up back to the front, yeah.
Yeah, the leader. We almost forgot about the leader. It's because he's so far in front. He's been doing a great job to keep it there as well. We'll also look at the leaders for GT4. Matrillo there and VRS Racing doing a good job there. He's got the gap there. Zikri in second position is there he is. He's quite far back now. I think Matrillo is going to hold on for the win there as well.
We're expecting a grandstand finish here, and I'm actually quite pleased for them to actually get up here. But it's just that final bit, that extra final 10% that you need to be above that 100 to just get that win. Well, just not today, isn't it, for Z3 and gang? But driver of the day in GT4 has to go out to those guys. They have absolutely driven quite well to be out where they were. Just had it, shame they're not going to get a win, but still, brilliant performance nonetheless.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, this team, Laundry House, this is going to be their third win in a row. They didn't win rounds one and two, but lap and a half to go. If they complete that lap and a half, they would have won rounds 3, 4, and 5 to cement their lead at the top of the championship. Kyo-Yim there in second position. Pratama in third. I think he's given up on trying to get back that second position. Luis Moreno, so it's a legion of races 3 and 4 at the moment, so that's not a bad day for them. Takuma from JMX Phantom in fifth position. Disappointing day for them. They would have thought they could have finished at least very worst second position. And the top of the Wackos Flip Table Racing cars, it's the BMW this time of 939 in sixth position. Nakib Aslan has a drive-through.
And Yung Bi Chen as well in the second of the pre racing cars. So both of them having late drive-throughs in the race. So they're going to have to serve it now, says the leaders coming through to the final lap. Otherwise, it'll be a detrimental 180-second penalty at the end of the race.
So is Terry Rayton within 10 seconds of Nakib Aslan? Because he could take a position when Nakib has that drive-through. Ninth position, Mean Machine, great job by them. And of course, they're in 10th position. GSRE Motorsports, we haven't talked about them, but car 63 has been there for the whole race, just outside the top 10, as we hear the confirmation that leaders in the final lap. But great job by GSRE Motorsports to get into the top 10.
Absolutely, and they were at one point at the bottom of the top 20 because of an earlier accident or pit stop, because I'm not sure, because I saw Wookid was that far behind. But they managed to recover all the way up now to the top 10, and good drive from Khairuddin, Fahad, and Wookid to get up there. So top 10 all around for this particular team is good enough for them, actually, after what happened earlier. But take nothing away from what we're going to say about these guys. Andrew O'Hara, Felipe Bukita, class of the field for 3 races in a row. Nobody's stopping them. They're in scintillating form, and that's a good form to bring coming to the final round of the season.
Yeah, it is. Very good form indeed. There's Nakib Aslan serving his drive-through. I just want to see if he comes out in front of Terry Rayton.
It's 19 seconds, and the pit lane is about 20 plus seconds. I think Terry's going to get him. In fact, there's Rayton coming through the final corner now at Lovefield. It's going to be close, actually. This is going to be really close between him and Aslan. So there's Nakib coming to the other pits.
Oh, he's still got a long way to go in that pit lane. Look at that. And there's Terry Rayton. He's about to come around turn 1. Whoa, this is going to be close for position. There he is. He's got the position. Nakib Aslan falls to 8th position. But let's go back to the winner. The winner. 2 more corners to go. Well, 3 more corners to go to take his 3rd win of the season.
Yep. Andrew O'Hara, Felipe Bukita. What more can we say about them? They're just absolutely storming through this championship. And they would have actually gotten a perfect 5 out of 5 had it not been for a very eclectic first round, shall we say, at Barcelona. But they've recovered since then, and now 3 wins on the trot with Silverstone being one of the wins they've gotten here. Around the final corner, the McLaren number 90 of Laundry House with Felipe Bukita and Andrew O'Hara take the win here at Silverstone. An emphatic victory by over half a lap ahead of an equally emphatic number 69, Kyo-Yim, Marco Wong, and I forgot the other driver, but he was in the McLaren Puipi racing car. What a great recovery from them to actually finish up in 2nd.
Absolutely, great job by them. There comes let's follow on board with the Puipi racing car 69. Finished 3rd at the previous round, and half a lap still to go, and they're on track to finish 2nd. So go 1 better with that car.
Skylight, Kyo-Yim, and Marco Wong. So Marco started the car. He had problems trying to get onto the grid, but they come all the way with guns blazing up to 2nd. Before they can cross the line, we're going to have to watch what's going to happen in the battle for GT4. It's a clear win here from Francis Matrillo and his co-driver. Oh, it's going through the spot, this guy again. Yeah. Aldo Balagula and Francis Matrio, what an absolutely brilliant victory for both of these guys. They've actually gotten through a lot in the couple of rounds, but they've finally gotten it. They've broken the duck, and they're going to get a win here. Out of the final corner then for Francis Matrio in the VRS Racing BMW M4 to cross the line and take victory for the first time this season in GT4. What a way to do it there. It might have been disappointing for the main car in GT3, but they made it up, more than made up for it in GT4. Alex, what a great win for them.
What a great win. Good win for VRS Racing, their first win of the season. Watching Kyo Yin coming through in second and third position. Great recovery drive by Puyi Racing. Driver of the day for this team. Pratama there in P3. Fantastic job by Legion of Racers. And Luis Moreno, the second LOR car, will be coming through in just a moment as well.
And can we go to Zikri, because Zikri also just crossed the line at the same time as Kyo Yim. So second place in both classes actually crossed the line together. So great drives for both of them. And we're waiting for the rest of the field now as everyone's doing donuts at the exit of Cops. And something that Max Verstappen wouldn't want to be reminded of after what happened in the British Grand Prix this year.
Amo Hazik, I've lost Des, unfortunately. You can see he's disappeared. So that is it for today, I think. Round 5, with the results will be out on social media. I think there are a couple protests still coming through. But thanks very much, Amo, for joining us for this race. Round 5 is done and dusted. Won by Laundry House, car number 90 in GT3. And VRS Racing took the win in GT4. We will be back with one more round. Round 6, the final round of the season. It's a 12-hour race, and that will be in November, on November 20th. So watch out for that. 12-hour race, good fun for that. So from Amo Hazik, Des Corkill, who's already left, and myself, thanks very much for joining us, and we'll see you soon.